Hello, and welcome to a special book club edition of Tisa Tells. Today we have our special book. Yes, I know, I can't get the actual book, right? So, you guys know this is your first time joining book club. This book is on Kindle. If you are interested in getting Not All Diamonds and Rosé, I finally, after reading this book chapter to chapter, could finally memorize the title. I have to say, it's not the best title. Doesn't roll off the tongue. It doesn't do anything for me. I know you guys think there's whiskey in here, but there's actually coffee. I have cookies or as my good friend B would say, biscuits. And I have San Pellegrino. We are locked in. What's up, Joanne Glad? How are you doing? You guys, did you guys actually read the book? If not, get ready because I'm still going to talk trash. We are still in chapter 3, right? And let's just get into this because for all of you guys that have not considered buying the book, this can be a good preview about whether you think it's worth it, right? And also, if you don't like it, you have 8 days to return it on Kindle. They don't have an audiobook yet. I think it'd be hard to do it on audiobook because there's like 30 billion different characters, right? So it'd be hard to do it. But you can also return it as long as you don't get any cookie bits on it, right? What's up, B? You have your biscuits ready? Hey, Kenny, what's going on? You guys, thanks for joining me again. I was really nervous about how the book club was going to turn out, but you know what? I thought it was fun. I really, really liked it. I've been traveling. I left all my makeup at my other place. I'm so mad about that, but it doesn't matter. You guys are getting natural Tisa today. Okay. So here is what we're doing, right? Let's jump right in. When last we left our hero, we were on chapter 8. That was a Potomac chapter. It was chapter 8, right? Hey, Monica. Oh, you've been waiting on this? Monica, do you have the book? I know you can't respond because you're trying to act like you're trying to do work, right? I've been there. Corporate life. All right. So we leave where the feud between, now we're picking up in the middle of chapter 8, right? That is Chesapeake Bay Babes or something like that. I know. Even the way they name the chapters, it reminded me of the way Ramona or Andy Cohen talks. Is this his book or was he just kind of like input and whatnot? It's giving real saltines. It's giving real crackers, and not wheat thin crackers, but actually saltines, right? If you know what I'm saying, just dry, tasteless. Hey, Dizanne McLean, right? Yes, it's crazy about Ken's husband bringing a gun to the reunion. Yes, if you guys don't know, listen, Dizanne McLean am I saying Dizanne? Yo, that was the biggest shocker at all. But the biggest shocker was even after he did all that, they still got tardy to the party. And I know I'm always heavy on Portia. You guys are probably wondering, what is she talking about? We're going to get into that in chapter 8. But I know I'm like super, super hard on Portia and Simon because they deserve it. But it's like, honestly, if you can forgive what Andy describes as happening to Kim, how do you have such a problem with Candiace? How are you puffing your chest up at Candiace saying she's a disaster and playing her at the reunion when you literally had somebody threaten to beat you up again and you still had her on What's What Happens Live after that? But that's just me, right? Thank you also, Dezam, for the super chat, right? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Monica, you should take a look at my memberships. Oh, wait, I should put a link. Okay, so you know what? Since it's a super chat, we're going to zoom, right? We're going to zoom out of chapter 8 and go into chapter 3. Okay, let's go into chapter 3 and let's just get right to the part that Dezam was talking about. If I'm not pronouncing your name, let me know because you know I'm bad, dyslexic, phonexis. I just mispronounced that, right? Okay, so part 3 is Just Peachy, the Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? So let's go to the part about Kim and Andy Cohen. Funny thing that we did know, right, is that I thought that Sheree always picked the wrong side when it came to Kim. I thought she had a chance to pick Nini's side or Kim's side. Come to find out, Nene and Sheree were never really friends. If anything, they had a rivalry because Sheree was known as like, the girl about town. She was married that time to Bob Whitfield. There was a lot of like, she had like a little social prestige, a lot of social prestige. Thank you, Rem. But as it happens, Kim Zolciak was Sheree's friend, and that's why Sheree always took Kim's side. Nene, Sheree low-key looked down on. And also Nene didn't like Sheree either, right? But let's just get into this with a thing. I'm trying to find it. I'm going things out of order in honor of my super chat, but let's get right into it. Where are you at? This is one thing with the Kindles. Why I like paper copies, because I can go back and forth. Okay, so Kim coming off, right? Okay, now we're into the casting. This has so much design. Okay, we have Claudia. There's Sheree. Carlo enters. Cynthia. Old gang back together. We're getting there, you guys. Let me know in the comments what your opinion was of the book club. Because I actually really, really like this. Okay, here we go. Let's just start from the beginning of chapter 3, shall we? Okay, so in the beginning of chapter 3, and this is the Atlanta Peaches, this is, as you know, right? There's a few things that were actually brought to our attention. Now, the first thing is, oh my God, this Kindle is kicking my butt. I apologize, you guys, because it just is. All right, you know what? Let's just get back to Chesapeake Bay. I have my annotations, and we're going to stick with them, all right? I'm just joking. We're going to Atlanta. Okay, so but going to Atlanta, they talk about who actually got the show together, right? I'm sorry, Real Housewives of Potomac. We know that on the Real Housewives of Potomac, let's just catch up for chapter 8. Charisse was the one that got them back together. Giselle, from the beginning, takes a lot of pleasure in being an industry plant. All right, Giselle, fine. But did you know that Giselle played a key role in everything? Now, Giselle and Charisse thinks that Charisse is not mad at her because she knows that she kept on taking it easy on her. Charisse went and told those people, the only reason I ever even spoke to Giselle again is because producers told me that I had to actually make up with Giselle. There's an interesting thing about how Katie tried to warn Robin that they were going to bring up Juan's finances. Robin, when she first started the show, saying the one thing that's off limits is Juan's personal life. I wonder why. Now that we know that Juan has a whole life outside of Robin, it makes sense. Funny enough, Katie to warn Robin before the scene was filmed because she saw Ashley talking to producers. However, Giselle got mad at Katie because Katie told Robin, right? Katie told Robin what was about to happen. Giselle got mad at Katie and was like, why'd you mess up the scene? Interestingly enough, instead of blaming Katie, right? Robin's comments on Katie said, Katie also became very difficult to film with. In season 2, she did her Casino Royale charity event. I remember hearing that her mother was cussing everybody out the entire time, screaming her head off at producers. At some point, they just realized it wasn't worth the trouble. I thought it was odd that Robin would say that because, Robin, you weren't even at the event. So what you're talking about, Katie was difficult to actually film with, right? Now, there is something. Robin actually seems to blame Katie for all that stuff coming up instead of blaming her best buddy, which is Giselle, that orchestrated the scene, right? Giselle also brags about the scene that happened with the kangaroo restaurant, right? Now, Robin says she didn't anticipate she would go off. Let me know if you guys have read this, right? Robin said when we first saw Ashley at the restaurant, she gave us that, hey guys, greeting, all happy and chipper. And it just pissed me off even more. I was like, this bitch. Giselle said, it was everything. We rolled in. Robin explained to Ashley how she felt, and we were out the door. It was epic. I frigging loved that scene. It's odd the way in Giselle's mind she refers to everything as a scene. I say this to say that once you read this, you understand why Giselle acts the way she does at the reunion, because that's how Giselle keeps her position and keeps her personal business too much out of the cameras, or keeps the producers from dragging her, because she's the one that facilitates the scenes. She gets all the trash and she creates all the conflict. Again, when Candiace and Monique fought, yes, Monique was a complete psycho for the way she treated Candiace. But if we take a step back from that, all that shit that Monique was saying about they plan on saying that child wasn't Chris's, blah 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 blah. She was telling the truth, but you weren't talking about Candiace. You were talking about Giselle, and you didn't have the balls to go against Giselle, not because you were afraid of Giselle, but because you know Giselle is a producer plant, and if you attack the producer plant, that's the quickest way off the show. For whatever reason, if you read about it, they all thought that Candiace was the weakest link. So I think Monique lost it, redirected that anger onto Candiace that she had in Giselle. And she somehow thought that because she did Giselle's dirty work, that it would be all cool. She didn't know that Giselle had been waiting since that Sherman fiasco to take her head off. All right, now listen, right? Let's see. Candiace said she prayed. Y'all remember that, right? Okay. So they said, even without Charisse, there's plenty of drama in Potomac, including the headline-making news that Karen's husband, Ray, the Black Bill Gates, owed nearly $1.5 million in back taxes. On top of that, $3 million more. This is an interesting view into the back thing. Now, Joshua, he's one of the producers, said, the story about Ray's tax issues was reported in the Washington Post before we even started filming. And that was the moment we realized our show was bigger than this little world we were filming in. That's when we saw ourselves crossing over into a pop culture lexicon. Now, again, this is anyone that signs up for reality TV. What do you expect, right? What do you expect, right? So then Giselle said, Karen was trying to keep her financial issues off camera. Her life was falling apart, and we were supposed to act like it's not happening? No, we're going to talk about it. Karen likes to live her life in a fantasy she created, but I choose not to live on Fantasy Island. I live in reality. Irony, Giselle, be thy name. Karen says, everything we've ever witnessed between Ray and me on this platform is trying for us. All marriages have challenges, and we've always taken our challenges head on. We fight for our marriage, and that's why we're winning. And then they cut on this. It's interesting that true to Karen's farm, she doesn't actually answer anything head on about herself. But much like Giselle, if she's talking about someone else, she'll go in and make professions of, oh, we have to look up. It has to be more, right? Now, let's talk about Miss Monique got on the scene. They said another season 3 storyline involved Monique and an off-camera car accident she got into hours after filming the scene. I talked about this on last episode, but we're going to go over it again because I kind of skimmed over it, right? Monique said and this is when you see Monique's pathos actually come out. Just listen to this. Monique says, when the accident happened, we all been filming a scene, me, Ashley, and Candiace. When filming Rap, Ashley and I went to have a drink. I'm a very slow drinker, but over the course of our time there, I ordered 3 drinks, including a Moscow Mellow, which I sent back for a martini because I didn't like it. Already I know she's lying because she's given too much damn detail. The Moscow Melon. Monique, shut up. Candiace said, I'd have to leave to film more, but they were done for the day. So they said, we're going into the bar and have a drink. I wasn't there. I didn't see it, but I've witnessed Monique driving after she's been drinking in the past. Monique, and here's the thing. If Candiace was lying about that, I really honestly do think Monique would have sued her for defamation. As much money as Monique has, and as much as she's coming for Candiace, if Candiace had publicly made this statement in this book and it was not true, or Candiace didn't have a basis for it, Monique would sue her for defamation because Monique, quiet as kept, has been looking for a reason to get back on TV, but she's also been looking for a reason, right? She's been looking for a reason to actually dig back into Candiace again. Monique said, I would never get behind the wheel if I was intoxicated. I didn't even feel drunk. But I had been up since 4 that morning. We just moved into our new house. I didn't have a nanny for the kids. I was managing all the financials of the rental properties, plus starting my business, plus working on the board of a charity, all while filming this reality show. I just had a miscarriage weeks earlier. Excuse me, guys, I was exhausted. And I was driving. The day just hit me, and I felt myself start to doze off. I tried to roll down the windows and turn the music up again to keep myself up, but it happened again, and when I opened my eyes, I was headed straight for a tree. Luckily, I swerved and wound up in a ditch, but the car still had something like $40,000 in damages, and I got whiplash and a mild concussion. This is common with Monique, I'll say this much. When she's doing something bad, when she is at fault, she always tries to tell you how she got hurt too. Like when she said Candiace hit her with that glass and she said that her lip got busted. I truly believe that Monique bit her lip from the inside because there's one thing I know. I'm not a scientist. I do not study string theory. I'm not a quantum physics, but I know if somebody hits you in the face with a glass and the glass shatters, there will be some type of bruise, protrusion, something on the outside instead of just the inside being hit, right? But, let's move on, right? Candiace says, I believe she was drunk and I believe she fell asleep because she had too much to drink. Also, you started to doze off. If anybody's ever seen Binder Times when Monique seductively walks by the fire, you will know that Monique's legs look like two matchsticks. No lie, Monique has a beautiful body, but they're matchstick legs, right? 3 martinis for a man, I think, if you go, is enough to be considered intoxicated. The fact that Monique and her tiny, tiny, tiny bobblehead body had 3 martinis in less than an hour and a half, yeah, Monique, even if everything you're saying you're true, that is a DUI and you were driving while under the influence. Now, were you blackout drunk? Clearly not. You were behind the wheel, but you were still driving under the influence. Now, right? Um, Candiace said she believes that she fell asleep, had too much to drink. Yeah, don't we all? Monique says Ashley kept saying I had 4 martinis, but anytime I'm out drinking, I'm driving, I limit myself. You had 3 martinis, but anyway. Candiace said when we went to Nemacolin, that's when she drank the whole bottle of camoose by herself. If you remember, and Ashley brought it up there. Can someone let me know what camoose is? I'm very interested in knowing, right? Can some not be? When I say matchsticks, Monique has a beautiful body. She has nice thin legs. I have thick legs. I like people when I see them with thin legs. I'm not shading her body. Monique has a beautiful body. I'm saying that Monique is thin. When you go for alcohol tolerance, it's for a regular sized woman and how much she can take. Monique is on the thinner side. And not even that, she has hardly any body fat. So a martini for me is going to get both of us tipsy, but Monique's going to be more tipsy. So when they do her alcohol index level, it's going to be higher than mine's would be because she has less fat to absorb it, Let's see. What is this? The cops came to my school to stop my high school classmates from DUIs. They taught us about alcohol metabolism and how many drinks per pound away. Thank you, Dara. That's what I was trying to say, right? Ashley did say she was drunk. Hey, Gloria, what's going on, right? Let's see. Hey, sweetness, what's going on? Oh, wait, Camus is an expensive red wine like Moreau. Oh, thank you. I don't have any training. I'm like, what's Camus? Thank you so much. I think it's Tonic. Kenny says he thinks it's cognac, but Queen Dara said it's a very expensive red wine. Okay, so, right, let's get into this, right? Now, hey, what's up, Yogi? Hey, Astro guy. Okay, so here's the thing. Monique says, what we didn't show was that when we went to Nemacolin, right before Ashley started lying about how many drinks I had, I told the group about my miscarriage, right? Oh, all right, B. I'm not a vulnerable person. I actually allowed myself to be vulnerable with them. And in that moment, what did they do? They discarded what I said and started bashing me from left to right. Oh, you had 4 drinks. Oh, you crashed your car because you were drunk. I was like, are you kidding me? This is the funny thing about Monique and her revisionist history. Now let's look at this wording because wording is very, very important, right? She said, in that moment, I was very honest. I was vulnerable. In that moment, what did they do? They disregarded me. No, Monique, Ashley disregarded you. Ashley's the one that set you up for martinis. Ashley's the one that said you're drunk. Ashley's the one that threw you to the wolves. But isn't it funny that Candiace is the one that got pulled across that wine bar table, right? Isn't that funny? Even in this book, Monique has so much misdirected anger. I think it's because she's very strategic. And she doesn't hang around people because she likes Charisse. Even if you guys didn't watch that thing, Charisse even said that Monique was a social climber. I think it's because she's so strategic in who she needs that she misdirects her anger. Because her mind, she said, Ashley is valuable. I can't say anything to her. Giselle is going to be valuable. I can't say anything to her. You know who I can say something to? I can do it on Candiace because don't nobody like Candiace. Monique is so strategic. Now, Robin said Monique was totally fine with Ashley in the discussion about her drinking. Coffee. When it was bought up at Colon. That night, we were in a hot tub all night chit-chatting, smoking cigars and having fun. But then when we're back home and she comes to Karen's perfume event all pissed, I was looking at her like, what the hell is your problem? Why are you mad all of a sudden? Because Monique was looking at for a moment and she couldn't say why she was pissed at Ashley, so she had to bring it up some other way. Monique said, I actually didn't want to go to Karen's sit event because it was very hot with Ashley. I wanted to celebrate my girl Karen. So I said to myself, I'm going to go and not say anything. This will be the quietest Monique they'll ever witness because I don't want to be pushed off the cliff. I don't want to go over the edge. And that's how it was until everyone started coming for me. Again, if you guys remember that scene, everybody did not start coming for her. Ashley started coming for her. It's crazy that someone publicly humiliated, set you up for a miscarriage, and I'm sorry, for martinis, implied that's why you probably had a miscarriage, and then you choose to become friends with them. But Candiace, who said we're asleep, and Candiace, who teased you a little bit and said, "Oh, you gonna drag me, Monique? You can't get past." All right, Monique, whatever. But let's move on, right? Ashley, being Ashley, said she got upset. She started saying things about me. I started saying these things about her. And the whole situation just spun so far out of control. I hate Ashley and her Miss American answers. Again, I'm the type of, I know there's a lot of people that if you can say the most vile things to them, as long as you say it with a smile and a very even manner, right? As long as you say it with a smile and a very even manner, people won't take that as being bad. I'm the type of person with, I don't care how you say it. You could say it like you're spitting my name or whether my name is Sunshine. But when I actually see your words, I take offense at the intent, not the tone, not the delivery, not anything. I take offense at what your intent was. Ashley's intent is always evil, right? Robin said, her anger to me was hilarious. If Monique was really mad, she would have said something in the moment, but she wasn't. She was just worried about the perception of the audience, would have thought her drinking and driving. That's why I was laughing. It was all performance. By the time we were on the street, I was really cracking up. Next thing we knew, Monique was choking Robin out with an umbrella. Monique said, I tried to walk away, but Robin and Giselle were instigating, arguing back at me and doing what they do, talking trash. I called them Pinky in the brain, and then Robin got upset and got in my face. And I was like, you better back up out my face before I hit you an umbrella. Robin said, I wasn't worried she was going to do anything. I knew she was all talk, right? Monique said Ashley later gave me an apology, a real one, but not until she went through something similar with Candiace. Again, I know in the last book club, a lot of you guys implied that since Monique went through a miscarriage and Ashley went through a miscarriage, they somehow bonded. But I thought about this and I looked at the timeline. That doesn't actually make sense because Ashley knew Monique had had a miscarriage before she clowned her after the hot tub and confronted her at the party. So Ashley already had her miscarriage, and then Monique was vulnerable in the hot tub and said she had a miscarriage too, and that wasn't enough to bond Ashley to Monique. So while they might understand how each other feels, no, I don't think that's what did Ashley, right? Now, Monique's referring to Ashley's feud with Candiace in season 4, which began when Candiace began questioning Ashley's drinking amid her attempts to get pregnant after the miscarriage. Now we'll skim through this because to me that was a dumb argument about the Corona. I feel like Ashley was just looking for a moment. Candiace was happy to oblige her. They were both getting scenes out of this, right? Candiace said she told me in that scene at odds that she was not going to drink because she was trying to get pregnant. But every time I looked, she was throwing back a Corona light. To me, says that you're not trying to get pregnant, you have a baby. Ashley said, say anything you want about my relationship, my marriage, me, my finances. That's par for the course in my eyes. But when Candiace started being so vocal and attacking my pregnancy journey, that for me was the line. This is classic Ashley. She literally listed everything she comes for with people, their relationships, their marriages, me, my finances. That's par for the core. But she draws a line at the miscarriage because she had one herself. Now, I'm not saying that that's not a horrible thing for a woman to experience. My whole thing is, where have we become this culture where things are only hurtful if they happen to you and if they care? Do you know what I'm saying? And if that is the rule you're playing at, like, listen, I don't give a damn what you think, out of this and third, you can't get mad. If you don't care anything about somebody's marriage or finances or anything else, then don't get mad when somebody says something about your miscarriage. Now, Robin said, talking about my finances was a line, but Ashley didn't mind. Touche, Robin. Ashley said, but money is something a person will not have today and may have to have tomorrow. Exactly, Ashley. That's why people get upset over money because it's life and death to some people, right? Losing a child and going through a miscarriage, I'm not going to get that baby back. That's a permanent loss I have to deal with. Don't make a mockery of it. Candiace said, Ashley was doing her job by making a big deal out of something that she honestly just didn't care about. I believe that's true. I believe, hey, thank you, Rim, for the super chat. I do believe that Ashley didn't really care about the drinking thing. I think that she wanted a moment. They all have to have moments. We see by Ashley with the breast milk and coming in and being like, but isn't Eddie cheating on you? Right? We see they look for moments, right? Ashley was doing her job by making a big deal out of something that she honestly just didn't care about. She was yelling. She was yelling, she was loud, and she looked like the villain, even though I'm sorry, she was yelling, she was loud, and I looked like the villain, even though I was making the same statement to her face that everybody was making behind her back. Now, you want to hear something interesting, right? This thing that Candace said actually got me thinking because you know how like we keep blaming, colorism on Potomac, and I do believe there is a lot of it. But it makes me think that we keep talking about the public, but maybe we need to look more at production because no lie, the production's the one that painted Ashley was an angel and Candace was the devil incarnate. And they showed these things and they always did editing to make Candace look like the bad one. It's funny how production, which is true entertainment or truly original, they're both under True Media Corporation, right? Evolution does the West Coast. It's honestly really, really funny the way that they literally do edit Candace to make her look like the villain. Maybe the colorism problem is dealing with production. Just a thought, right? Let's see. Candace, so then Giselle. Candace really wanted to be BFS with Ashley off camera. And when Ashley was like, I'm not really feeling you, like it hurt Candace. They are two little pageant girls. Candace is over it now, clearly, but that's the source of their issues. The funny thing is they don't follow up on that. This could just be Giselle sticking up for Ashley because it doesn't make, oh, sorry guys. It doesn't make sense that Candace wanted to be friends with Ashley so bad. I do believe they tried to connect. I think Candace, being the sad she is, tried to be open about things. But no, I honestly don't believe at all that Candace was pressed to be Ashley's friend. I think she was just trying to make alliances. And I don't think it was as simple as Ashley saying, I'm not feeling you like that. I think when Candace came on, Ashley, if you remember, was always giving side-eye looks to Candace, like, ugh, I can't believe they let this muggle on. You could tell that Ashley did not think Candace was pretty. She didn't think she was attractive. And she was wondering why Ashley was running in the same circles. I'm sorry, she was wondering why Candace was running in the same circles that she was. It wasn't the fact that Ashley wasn't feeling her. I mean, I think she wasn't feeling her, but I think it was the point of Ashley thought she was better than Candace. She thought she was prettier than Candace. She thought that she was so much. Y'all remember in that scene when they were at Ashley's mom's house and I'm sorry, Candace's mom's house, and Ashley said, "Look at this face. You're just mad that this face can go into any room and be accepted, and you can't do that. If y'all don't believe me, go rewind your DVRs. They did that. That's the first time I said, did anybody just see that colorism happen? And everybody just skimmed over it. It wasn't in later seasons that people are like, is there a colors problems, right? Listen, yes, it's about social class. I agree. No, I really do think that no, Cherie, y'all, hold on. We have to slow this book club down. You guys skipped it. We did the first half of chapter 3 last week. So you guys need to remember, Charisse is not a social climber. I said Monique was. Charisse is the who's who of Potomac. She used to be the head of the NBA's Wives Association. She is on every charity and almost every important board in Potomac. You cannot like Charisse. You can say she was unnecessary, but the one thing you can't deny is Charisse didn't need to climb up on anyone's social. She was the social standard. She actually helped cast the Real Housewives of Potomac because that's how well connected she was. So let's get things straight. Charisse is the source. She is the plug. Let's put some respect on Miss Charisse. What's her last name? Jordan's name? I don't know what Charisse's last name is, right? Listen, Ashley ain't never, ever, ever had no edges. And that's the funny thing. You can tell she didn't grow up in the community. The valued baby here. Just saying, right? Layla said Charisse is miserable and envious as well. I read through this book. Charisse doesn't strike miserable or envious of anything. In fact, all those ladies needed Potomac for a check. Charisse she didn't willingly walk away. They didn't renew her for her second season. But last book club, I did make analogies, right? I did make analogies to her and Mariah Huck. It seems like the production team, if they have a cast member that is also produces the show or brings it in, they do what they can to get the cast member out by second season. Say what you want about Bravo, but they don't have the basketball wives, Shawnee O'Neal, situation going on. Not to say what Bravo does is even better, because what they did to Mariah Huck was dirty, and what they did to Charisse was dirty. Pushing her out the show for no reason. They kept saying, oh, the reason Charisse left is because Charisse didn't have a storyline. Charisse said, all I said was, y'all can't talk about my divorce. But my children actually found out they had step siblings. I wanted them to meet their I'm not sorry, not step siblings, but they had half brothers and sisters. She said, I wanted to meet their half siblings on air and have a conversation. Producer said no. The producers were just trying to get out of there. Charisse gave plenty of storylines. They didn't want to talk about anything, but the one thing she said, y'all, I can't talk about my divorce. It was a multi-million-dollar divorce, and I wouldn't give up my coin for Bravo either, right? There we go, right? Listen, everybody on Potomac is beautiful. Even football head Darby, she's an interesting beauty, but she is a beauty. If you have a clown fetish and an it fetish, Ashley's your girl. I'm joking. Ashley's pretty too, but on the outside, right? But they're all beautiful. I will say one thing, right? They are all right. There you go. What's that? No, Karen Huger was not the richest one after Cady Ross than Monique. That I do not believe that's true. Karen Huger, when they first started out, led them to believe that she was the richest one, right? But technically, and here's the thing, when you talk about rich, there's what you have in a bank account, but also you have to actually talk about social standing too. Charisse, out of that group, had the biggest and most social. She just did. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. However, I don't know how much Monique and Chris has. I mean, I know they're not hardly broke, but I really don't know how much Chris and Boo has, right? Let's see. They did Mariah dirty, and I'm saddened that all those educated women said nothing to support not Mariah, even if they don't like someone. Fair is fair. Let me tell you something why they didn't support Mariah, and then we're going to get back into chapter 8. They didn't support Mariah because they were jealous of Mariah. My sources tell me that, first of all, Mariah's pockets are long. They clowned Eugene and Toya because Eugene was busting his ass at work and they were always living paycheck to paycheck. And they're like, oh, you don't work. Mariah is a great businesswoman. She has lots of streams of passive income. There's property, there's this, there's that. Aiden either is on the board or owns half a hospital. They got money for days. Everyone, out of everybody in that Married to Medicine, even Dr. Jackie, even Dr. Simone, they have to show up every day at their practices to get paid. Now, I'm not shading them. They're super, super successful. But I do believe that Dr. Jackie and all those women harbored jealousy toward Mariah because Mariah really was that girl. She is drop dead gorgeous. She has a lot of personality. She bought the show, but not even that. The one thing that could never come for her and Aiden was their money. They were the richest ones on there by far, and everybody knew it. And I don't think a lot of those girls liked it. I really don't believe it, right? I really don't believe it. Okay, so here we go, right? Oh, wait, that's true, Kimmy. I saw that survey photo. Photo is not a true. The chins were cut off. Let me tell you something. Are you talking about that photo between Ashley and Candiace in the foreheads where one person zooms in on Candiace's face and the other one has Ashley's back there? Listen, we all have eyes. Monique already gaslighted, right? I'm sorry. Yes, Monique literally played gaslight special, but I'm done with that. We all have eyes. We know nobody's forehead can touch Candiace's. Can touch Ashley's. Does Candiace have a large forehead? Absolutely. However, nobody's forehead is bigger than Ashley's, except for Dean and Dylan's. Okay. And I'm sorry, Aiden helped a lot of those doctors get jobs at the hospital, right? So Aiden is a power broker as well, right? Yet Mariah had an estate, right? There we go. Okay, so let's get back into this, right? Candiace said, Ashley, okay, we already said that, right? Oh, here we go. We get into the juice. The feud between Ashley and Candiace spilled over to Candiace's house. With a dinner party, Candiace's husband, Chris, was throwing, turned into one of the most jaw-dropping scenes in Potomac history. Now, I would like to point out earlier that the way I said Giselle is no one's friend. Remember when Robin had gotten that house flip and they really needed it? Robin's come a long way with her embellish. And I don't say this as any shade to Robin. I'm really proud as if I had anything to do with it. But it makes me so good to see someone that took what you did, take reality TV and used that to create opportunities. At that point, she had invested some of her reality TV money into flipping a house. She thought this would be great advertisement for the house flipping thing. Okay, fine. She also did a car thing, I think a trucking company where she bought a trailer. More on that later, right? Simon must have watched that episode. And she also started her Embellish line. We know Embellish is doing really well. I don't know where she is with the house business, but it was her first flip and they were behind schedule. It had gone over budget and they needed to sell that house quickly. She invited all the girls over because she wanted it to be filmed. Hopefully this would give her like whatever. Remember when, right? Thank you, Rem. Remember when, right? Rem, would you like to join the chat? Remember when, right? Giselle walked up in there and around Robin's realtor, potential buyers, Robin's family, and all the girls, she started messing with Monique and did not give a damn. Yeah. Again, Robin and Giselle have a special type of friendship, but I don't know what it feels like to have a friendship where you can disrespect me and my dreams and my goals at any moment. And I'm supposed to be cool with it because when you do it, it's fine. Now, did anybody say that when she got into Monique's face, was Monique pregnant at that time? She might not have been. Remember she got into Monique's face? Would Monique have the right to pop her then? Because Giselle's mouth was being vicious. But let's get into this too, right? Now, Robin said the whole party went left fast. We were supposed to be talking about the fact that Michael said one night while we were out drinking, yeah, I would suck one's beep. That was the real elephant in the room we needed to discuss, but Ashley immediately brought up the comments Candiace made about this miscarriage. Candiace said, we've been Monique's rainbow baby shower, and Ashley and Michael were once again putting on a whole performance. So I let them know. Now that Candiace was kind of out of line. When it comes to death, even if you think somebody is putting on a performance, you just got to let them perform. Are y'all with me on this? It's like certain things where people say, and you're like, all right, bitch, you got me on this one. They could be like, you know how I feel? My so-and-so just died. You got to let them have it. Even though you might look at them and be like, I see you. When I look into your eyes, all I see in your eyes, I see you, right? Even though you see the games they're doing, you literally just have to sip your coffee and be like, all right, whatever, sure, right? Because you can't say anything about when it comes to people's children, when it comes to death, when it comes to anything like that, you got to leave that alone, right? So it wasn't the fact that Candiace was out of line. It's just the fact that like Candiace at that time constantly walked into the traps Ashley set for her, you know? Let's see. Ashley said, Candiace crossed the line. Ashley, shut up. You're a habitual line stepper. Y'all remember the Chappelle show with Charlie Murphy when he was reenacting Rick James coming over to Eddie Murphy's house and taking his and Eddie Murphy was like, hey, can you not like, you know, put your shoes on my white couch? And he was like, this white couch. And then he was like, fuck your cat's net. And you know, and then they literally beat up Rick James dressed as Dave Chappelle, and he was called away saying they should have never given y'all ninjas money. Y'all remember that skit? It was funny, right? So anyway, when they said Rick James was a habitual line crosser, Ashley is a habitual line crosser. So Candiace goes on to say, of course Ashley had to tell me, I'm in your mama's house, because once again, it was all about painting me as a spoiled brat. But let me tell y'all something. I'm in your mama's house. It don't matter. And this is the weird thing about the way Potomac and all the Housewives shows are in an alternate universe. Doesn't matter if my mom's name is on the deed or not, because you in here and I'm inviting you to get out. Because if that's the case, and we all know this is true, Ashley, I can roll up into that concrete jungle you call a condominium where you got 2.5 bedrooms and 1.5 baths, raising 2 kids with a nanny that you swear Michael's not going to sleep with, right? I can literally say all that and be like, this is Michael's house, not yours. Mama, this is Michael's house, right? Can't we say that? Karen, can't we say it's Ray's house? Because we know from the tax bill, your name wasn't on anything. Everything was in Ray Huger's name, because Ray's an old school man. If you try to leave him, he'll tell you to leave and take everything you came with. And judging from Karen's life, that was what, a 2-wheel a tractor and the ambassador to Story County? Let me stop, right? Anyway, same thing with Chris. Well, no, Monique looks smart. Monique's a Libra woman. I know Monique's name is on that deed. So let me keep Monique out of it, right? Monique was probably sitting there like, please exclude me from the conversation. My name been on everything. My name is even on Chris's birth certificate. That's how deep it is, right? So Candiace goes on to say, but that set me off because I was like, bitch, your entire life is a dumpster fire and it's on display for everybody to see. So leave me and my privileged Black American princess ass alone. All right, Miss Diller, stand up. Robin said, then it was like, boom, here comes Candiace slamming a butter knife on the table and kicking Ashley out of the house. Can we just be real in this book club for 1 second? And I mean, like, let's get out of Housewivesville. Y'all, we all know what a butter knife is. A butter knife doesn't even have a serrated blade. A fork is more dangerous than a butter knife. A spoon is more dangerous than a butter knife. Why does everybody act like Candiace came out with a machete talking about some day? Why everybody act like Candiace came out? Y'all remember Azalea Bates when she was doing the jungle house trance with the machete? And she was like, right? Y'all remember on IG Live when Azalea Banks was getting it? That's what they act like Candiace came out with the machete, just doing the tribal boom, 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 boom. If y'all know what I'm talking about with Azalea Banks dancing, Google it. It's the funniest thing. That's what they act like Candiace came out with, a damn machete. So anyway, Candiace said, I've been drinking red wine all day and I had zero inhibitions about climbing on top of that table and telling this bitch to get the fuck out of my house, period. Candiace is a bit dramatic, but we all know that Candiace is only 3 apples high. So even if she climbed up on the table, she was still only this high. So how is she a threatening figure? Don't get me wrong. Y'all like, oh yeah, Candiace got too much mouth. Candiace is 3 apples high. You're going to let somebody 3 apples high get under your skin. We know Candiace isn't a fighter, and that's cool too. I'm not a fighter. I mean, don't fucking test me if you see me on the street. I can fight. I'm just not a fighter. I'm a certified lover. Ching ching. Cue the star, right? So anyway, Monique said, this is when I started to feel unsafe around Candiace. If I would wave a knife in somebody's face to that point where she could literally have cut me, I swear when I first read this passage, I literally put the foot because I was in bed reading like this. You know how like when you're laying in bed and like the blue light is shining on your face. Side note, make sure you wear sunblock if you're around blue light a lot because it really does aid you. I'm not even joking, right? I remember I was in bed reading like this and I literally put the phone down and was like, I had to put the phone down and just look straight because the shit that she was saying was just ridiculous, right? Now, Ashley said, there's pressure for more explosive interactions as you go in the season. And in that moment, Candiace was really trying to instigate a physical fight with me. That's why she threw the butter knife at me. You know, it's so funny the way they allow these things to be skipped over. I remember that scene, and it got so heated that Ashley rightly left. And once she left, Giselle was the one that ran after her and tried to bring her back. And I remember that argument. Even Ashley and Miss Habitual Line Stepper was like, oh, I don't think I should go back in there. Because even Ashley knew it's her house. You disrespected her. It doesn't matter if you were right or wrong. She was seeing red and it was her house. You need to stay out of it. This was the beginning. Maybe, I don't know. Giselle, there's something there. There's a thought in my head swimming about Giselle, this universal truth. It's like this little, I don't know, this eel swimming around my head. I'm going to catch it one day. But I'm telling you, there is something in Giselle's character that I'm about to break down. One day, rain will soon come, right? Candiace said, my plan was to take Ashley's purse to the door and throw it outside, like over the steps into the street to get her to leave. Candiace is such a Sagittarius queen that she literally outlined her steps. Because when we get mad, we all get there. When we get mad, you sit there and you're just like, all right, I'm going to wait till they come closer to us and I'm going to toss this coffee into their space and all this stuff. But the fact that she literally outlined it saying, my plan was, right? Right? Okay. But Chris was like, you need to calm down. He was sitting on me, pulling me away. So launching the knife was my way of saying, okay, I'm not going to get back over there and really cuss her out. So let me just throw this frustration and make her leave. I agree with that. You guys, and I want to see a survey. I'm going to go to the comments in a second. Do you guys believe, right? Do you guys believe that if Chris wasn't there, that the fight wouldn't have got so escalated? Because one of the reasons I think they got so upset is because Chris was trying to restrain her. And if anybody's ever been in a fight when someone tries to overtalk you, calm you down, or restraining you. Not when the fight is amping up, but when y'all really like, when everybody starts like bouncing, like, yep, knuck if you buck, knuck if you buck. See, I'm a down, pistol holder. Like when you really start hearing the lyrics to knuck and your buck in your head, right? And your body starts moving like, yep. Anyone that tries to step in, that tries to intervene, that tries to say anything, that's why the people that jump in the fights to break them up often are the ones that get hit the most. Because once everybody's amped up, ain't nobody trying to hear that. It's not. It literally is. Plus with Chris sitting on her, and now looking back, that must have been so humiliated for Candiace. And I can imagine, reality TV, everybody says is a pressure cooker. Kyle Riswald did an interview about that. Oh, way they sit there and instigate. Candiace was already drunk. It was her first season of reality TV, or not her first, but and things got out of control, right? Candiace should have handled herself better, but you know what? I've never been in that situation. Whatever. I don't believe that the butter knife was anything big. It's a butter knife. Now, I am the resident thrower out of my friends. When I get mad, if it's my cell phone, it's anything, it'll literally, you better duck because it's coming from your head. So maybe because I'm the resident thrower, when I used to have a temper, for me, a butter knife, I'm like, please grow up, right? I'm not saying it's okay. Don't be in my comments being like, T said, blah, 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 right? Please don't. Please don't. I know some of y'all want to try me. Don't. Let's have a peaceful book club, okay? So Monique says it was way, way worse than what they showed. Her husband was literally sitting on top of her to restrain her, and she was punching him and mushing him with her elbow, trying to get to Ashley. No, I think she was punching him and mushing him to get him off of her. Again, I really like Candiace. I like Chris too. I think they have a beautiful, functional relationship. And that's the thing with relationships. No one is perfect. I do believe, and I don't know when or how it's going to happen, but they need to make a compromise with each other in how they approach conflict, not with Candiace's mouth. But are we going to be unified or are we not? Because let me tell you something. If I start cursing somebody out, another woman, and my boyfriend's like, stop, I'm trying to cover my mouth and this and that. Listen, go take your ass outside if you don't want to hear it, or sit there and fucking support me. In the words of Erica Jane, can someone please back me the fuck up? That's how I would be, right? Either stand by my side, or if you don't want to see it, if this embarrasses you, go home, go have a drink with your friends. Hell, go break the fuck up with me, right? Go break up with me. But one way or the other, you're not going to be sitting here, sitting me, covering my mouth, mushing me, so I have to fight you just to get some air. Again, no shade to work, Chris. I think they have a really beautiful relationship. No one's perfect. I would want my man to work on that with me, but what do I know, right? It's just me, right? Let's see. And another reason that Chris does this is he puts her in a situation. It's almost like, and it's weird, right? Because if I see somebody's mom punch them in the mouth, I'm like, damn, you grew up in an abusive household. I kind of feel sorry for you. If I see somebody's man put their hand over their mouth or mush them, I'm like, damn, that's messed up. But a lot of people think that if the people close to you treat you badly, it must be your fault. Now, I see the logic where they're going, but I just want to put out that that's where a lot of generational curses come from. And I'm not even joking, because if the people close to you treat you badly, that speaks more about the people close to you, not toward me. A lot of times we raise people to believe that if you do good, people will treat you well. That's not always the word. Sometimes you do great and people still treat you like trash. And I think that's why some people stay in toxic or abusive situations, because they blame themselves. And somehow that if you put in a quarter, people are not vending machines. If you put in 60 cents, you get a bag of Lay's. How much are a bag of Lay's? If you put in 45, no, put 60 cents. Oh, if you put in 60 cents, you get like that old yucky pack of Twizzlers, right? If you put in 60 cents, you get Twizzlers. Sometimes you put in 60 cents and the machine just says error. You don't get anything back, right? Now, Monique said, okay, now here's the thing where we see Giselle being an industry plant. She said, by the way, you're welcome for that butter knife scene. Candiace said, Giselle likes to think she produced that whole damn thing. Giselle said, I pushed the story down the road. I want the truth, and I know how to get it. Ashley said, Giselle thinks she should be in the credits, to be honest. She gives herself a lot of credit for orchestrating things. And to be fair, she does. Shut up, Ashley. Go ahead. And have you ever thought in the beginning, I used to think that Ashley had a crush on Giselle. And I don't know if the crush wasn't reciprocated. I'm just saying. For those of you guys listening at work, I'm drinking my coffee right now and I'm minding my business. But I'm giving a knowing look. Fixing my brows. I'm giving a knowing look to the camera. Okay, so, right? Giselle goes on to say, I don't want it to be boring. Nobody wants to watch that. Giselle's a dummy. Because honestly, if you are orchestrating all this stuff, I hope it's written into her contract. I hope she's getting a production credit. I hope she's just not doing this for free. I really honestly do hope. But Giselle strikes me as someone that would get off on having the illusion of power and doesn't necessarily need the actual power. It's like the way you were married to Jamal Bryant for that many years and he was able to cast you out of heaven and you were no longer the first lady because you had all this power standing next to Jamal being the first lady, but you didn't put in the effort to get real power. Put your foot into the church's organization. Make sure your name is all there. Make sure people recognize your face more than even Jamal's face. So Jamal kicked you out. You can be like, and guess what, ninja? The congregation wants me back, right? If Giselle really wanted to do the damn thing, she should have watched an episode of Greenleaf. She should have watched an episode of Greenleaf, and because that could have showed you how it done. Because Giselle Bryan is no Lynn Whitfield. Who was Lynn Whitfield's name in Greenleaf? Greenleaf was so good, right? With Lynn Whitfield and whatnot. She should have been taking lessons from Greenleaf. That's what you do when you're the pastor's wife. You make sure that your fingers are in everything. So if he tries to separate you, be like, where you going? But where you going? The church, where are you going? You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, right? Listen, Giselle's a Virgo. Do as I say, not as I do. But that's the funny thing with Virgos. Most Virgos are way, 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 way better at making sure that their will is done. Like, you know, it's like my kingdom come, my will be done, my kingdom come. Y'all know I ain't never been to Sunday school. My will be done, my kingdom come, or my kingdom come, my will be done. My will be, whatever. Anyway, that's some Virgo shit. Like guys will be like, my will be done, right? Let's see. Hey, Danny's first. What's going on? Oh yeah, you guys, I'm having a members only live. It is Friday. If you guys like behind the scenes gossip, let me tell y'all something. Everything I told y'all has been true. I told you about the Real Housewives. I told you about Portia being fired before Portia was even fired. I told y'all about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, the casting shakeups. I told y'all so much. I told you about dinner. I even told y'all who Portia was fighting. It's all revealed in the members live. We got the archives y'all can listen to. The next one is this Friday, and it's going to be litty. We have so many things we're discussing. It's only $4.99. Listen, y'all don't need those cake pops and popsicles, and as B would say, biscuits, right? I'll be the one eating the biscuits and putting on the holiday weight. Y'all could just live off of gossip alone. Anyway, the links to subscribe is in the chat. Let me know, or you can just go to my about section and hit that. All right. Oh, okay. So Giselle says, I don't want it to be boring. Nobody's going to want to watch it. So Lauren Escalin, she's one of the producers, says, Giselle will not leave without getting the information she wants. And in that sense, she's a great producer of other people's stories. It's when it comes to her own story that she clams up. Giselle says, in this case, when Ashley got thrown out, I knew I had to bring her back in because guess what? We were supposed to be talking about Michael and what she said about the pee-pee and what he wanted to suck. That had not happened yet. Now, here's the thing. Follow me on this, you guys, right? Let's take it back to Candiace and Monique. You know, when I thought about Giselle's statement, and I thought about the way when there's ever any real drama or confrontation on Real Housewives of Potomac, Giselle is right there in the middle. With this, Ashley tried to leave because even Ashley felt like things were getting out of control. And she brought her back in, right? With Robin and Monique, Giselle was sitting there instigating that. With Ashley and Robin, Giselle rode up with Robin and walked her into the restaurant and kept on going with that scene. There's been this fan theory. I actually didn't watch the footage enough. Let me know if I'm wrong. That when all that happened with Candiace, Giselle kind of pushed Monique and Monique erupted in anger and took it out on Candiace. Judging by what Giselle's saying, I need to watch that again because I wouldn't be surprised if when all that was going on, Giselle was the one that put that straw on that camel's back and watched that break. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. So Candiace said, I had to actually to leave repeatedly. Meanwhile, everyone paints me as this angry, out of control Black woman who wants to stab people with knives. Get out of my house. You were asked to get out. I agree. I agree. She was asked once, twice. I think she came back 2 or 3 times. That was out of line. Chris, anyway, let's move on, right? Troubles between Candiace and Ashley wound up affecting Candiace and Monique's friendship too. When Monique stood up for Ashley, it led to a massive argument during a country hoedown and Monique's now infamous threat to drag Candiace pregnant at all. First of all, Monique reminds me a lot of Portia. And the fact that when Monique gets mad, she doesn't have that much impulse control. And follow me on this, right? Everybody gets mad. Everybody's taken it too far once, twice, maybe even 6 times. But my issue with Monique and Candiace is, I'm sorry, Monique and Portia is when they get mad, they see red. Nobody can calm them down. What happens next time when you're driving and you see someone? Do you get to run them over? If you have a bat, do you just black out? And when you wake up, you're like, oh my God, what have I done? It's like, where does it stop? Do you know what I'm saying? You can maybe say the same thing of Candiace, but the thing is, maybe because when it's Candiace, when Chris was sitting on her, I could see how angry she would get. The Monique thing, the reason why I was just like, this is beyond the pale, is because I couldn't see any logical nexus. I could see where it all came from, but I couldn't see any logical nexus between the transfer of your anger to Miss Candiace Diller, who's had your back more than anyone, and what was actually really going on. If you consider across the table from Giselle and Kiki with her and plan a surprise party for Ashley, a surprise baby shower for Ashley, why couldn't you show Candiace the same respect? You know what I'm saying? Ooh, budget weights. Thank you for becoming a Tattletale budget weights. Woo! Everyone, Tattletales, welcome budget weights. Ooh, 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 ooh. Welcome budget weights, right? Let's say, here, okay, so welcome budget weights, right? So Candiace goes to say, Monique and I had a huge friendship off camera. And when we hung out, we would talk all sorts of smack about Ashley and Michael. The general consensus among us and the rest of the group is that Ashley and Michael's relationship is a ruse. I tend to agree. If it's not, it's a Shakespearean tragedy of epic proportions mixed with a little bit of leprosy, right? Ashley's in it for the money and Michael's in it for a trophy wife. I agree. Didn't she say, I'm Darby's Barbie, right? Even though Michael Darby, you know what I think he is in it for? A trophy wife. Hold on. If you're watching from home, if you're listening from work, I just took a swig of Pellegrino, right? I shout out to all the people listening with their headphones, acting like they're doing work, but you're really listening to this. Shout out to y'all. Y'all make our workforce go round. Love y'all, right? Ashley's in it for the money and Michael's in it for trophy wife. I agree because when Ashley had her babies, I'll say one thing. When Ashley's pregnant, to me, she doesn't gain that much weight. She carries very small. When she has those babies, she has maybe 20, 25 pounds overweight. But because Ashley's so skinny, she looks like a normal sized person. She still looks super skinny. Michael was so disgusted with her body after the baby. So disgusted. It did make me think, you're only a trophy wife for him. You have to have this hot little tight body. And if it's not there, then he doesn't want anything to do with you. Not even anything to do. He is disgusted by you, right? Quiet as kept. Michael's probably like, ew, women parts, right? So Candiace said, Monique would be like, Ashley's going to get this baby and she's going to get the hell out. That's what I think. So then to see Monique out of the clear blue sky vehemently defending Ashley to me, like Ashley paid your taxes for her, like she saved her baby off a burning clip, it just did not make sense. I know what it was. Monique started saying that one of the people were going to be replaced, her and Candiace. Monique was pregnant all season, so she didn't have much of a storyline. Monique was afraid of being pushed off the show. And we all know Monique desperately wanted to be on that show. I can eat crow. I thought Monique got fired. But apparently what happened is she just didn't sign her contract. Now, what that contract looked like, I don't know. But I know for whatever reason, sorry, I got to fix my hairpins. They're bothering me. I know for whatever reason, Chris did not want Monique to return to that show. He said that it was threatening his family. This, that, and the third. If you guys are not familiar with black hair care, this is called moving the bobby pins. Sometimes the bobby pins are too close to your scalp and they really start pulling your hair and it gets tender. So there's nothing more than this. The only thing worse than this is putting your ponytail in too tight And then, you make your ponytail too tight, and then you wrap the weave tracks around it to make your ponytail fuller. And then the whole day your hair is still pulling and it got tracks, right? Hey, Marva Smith. Also, I want to give a shout out to Marva Smith. It's your member anniversary for 2 months. Thank you for being a Tattle Tell for 2 months, Marva. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tattle Tells. Woo! Let's give a shout out to our OG Marva. Listen, but if anybody's ever put in their ponytail too tight and then wrapped like the tracks to get, like, you know what I'm talking about. You have not known pain or discomfort, because to loosen the actual your own ponytail, you have to take all that down. And if you went to the hairdresser to have that done, good luck. You'd have better luck taking down the Eiffel Tower than unraveling that weave ponytail. But anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, but here's the thing, Danny's verse, right? Listen, yes, and don't let that ponytail be swinging in the wind. Here's the one. Danny's verse says, Tisa, I think you're right. You're right. Because I remember you said she probably didn't get a good contract. Bravo gives a low blow contract when they're not filling you for some reason or another. Let me tell y'all something. When Portia got into that fight and she had to go to anger management and she got busted down to a friend on roll, her contract took such a big hit. She was basically working for free in housewives terms, right? You know that she didn't get any decent raise for like the next 3 or 4 seasons. So even though everybody's just like, oh, who's the highest paid? Candy, Kenya, spoiler alert, it's Candy. It's always Candy. At least whenever there's a tourist around, who's the highest paid? Most likely the tourist somehow, right? But when they were like moving all that stuff up, Portia's wages were stuck for up. So even though Monique might have gotten a contract, it probably was super low budget. But remember, Monique said, we don't need that little check. And I believe her. Chris has money. They don't need that little check. But Monique needed that to get independence from Chris, because Chris is real controlling. He's an old school Southern man. From what I know from old school Southern men, yeah, you don't got to worry about your house. You don't got to worry about this. They will provide. They will do this and that. But guess what? They also want you in the house, and they want you cooking. And if they want you pregnant, and if you're not pregnant, they want you dressed and ready to get pregnant, if you know what I'm saying. Chris wanted Monique, and Monique has a lot of ambition. She has a lot of light. I mean, Monique's out of her mind, but she has a lot of light. She has that it factor. So she had ambition, and she thought that Chris, that would be a way to establish her independence. Chris, because of the storyline, I understand. He's like, y'all not coming over here with that bullshit. Plus, Chris is very well respected from what I hear in the football community. And as you know from the football community, they are very, very conservative, right? They like their slaves to wear white gloves. What's up, Amari Lewis? Welcome to the Tattle Tells fan, Amari Lewis. Welcome to the Tattle Tells fam. Yo, PC, thank you so much for the super chart. Thank you, PC. Thank you. I appreciate that, PC. I appreciate that so much, right? So let's see, barefoot and pregnant, right? Yep, Monique said she had to pay for makeup and everything. I'm telling you, right? So, right? We'll get back to that, but that's a good point, right? Thank you, PC, for the super chat. No, Ashley does look like a Barbie. Shoulders and everything. Let me stop. So let me get this straight, right? So, Monique said, that's an absolute lie. I'm not a person who would just sit and trash talk somebody. I like to keep my mind positive. Monique, girl, shut up. Monique, you trash talking since day one. This is Monique also. Monique trash talks, she throws shades, and then she does, let me tell you something. Nothing annoys me more than life than someone giving me a fake laugh. And listen, when people give me fake laughs, they give me fake laughs all the time. I just look there and I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, shadow boxing. Because stop giving me these fake laughs. I don't know. I know why they bother me, but Monique would say the shadiest things she would do in her confessional. She'd be like, ooh, Candiace is the type that, like, she like to, and then, you might have to hit her back. She would do a fake ass laugh at the most awkward times. And she would do that every time she threw real shade. So for Monique to say I like to keep my mom positive. Monique, roll clip, right? So Candiace said, Well, Monique was threatening to drag me at the hoedown. I never thought she would because I thought there was a line that everyone knew not to cross. Monique said, I wanted to throw that bottle at her head during the whole I'll drag you pregnant and all. I had to restrain myself. I believe that, Monique. Candiace says, she's lucky I'm not someone else because if you threaten the wrong person saying you're going to hit them in the head with a glass bottle and that person doesn't give a bleep about your life or your life of your unborn baby, let's just say it could have been a much worse situation. Well, that's the funny thing about this, right? Everybody during that Monique time, and we are not going to start the Candiace Monique wars of 2000 and what's it, 2019 or 2018. We're not going to start the Candiace and Monique wars of 2018. I will say this though. I found it odd that a lot of people that were like, talk ish, get ish. Yeah, Monique, drag, drag, drag. And I was like, listen, I'm not from the hood. Don't get me wrong. I went through my stage where I would go and visit, right? But I understand, but I've seen enough crazy stuff in my life that Candiace is right. If you're on that, I'll drag you pregnant and all talk ish, it get ish. You are right that Candiace wasn't somebody else. But then Monique knew that because there's a lot of people that will fight a pregnant woman, especially if the pregnant one is the one talking ish, getting ish. But you know what? Both things can be true. Monique is lucky that Candiace wasn't someone else. But then the other truth is Monique actually did it to Candiace because Candiace wasn't somebody else because she had well, I'm not even gonna say she had, but she had to do that, right? Now, Candiace said, she's lucky I'm not someone else because if you threaten, oh, I already read that. Monique said, I'm a 0 to 100 type of person. I can snap at somebody, right? I already did that. Let's see. Hold on a second, you guys. Where we at? Okay. Where are we at? Sorry, I lost my train of thought because I'm nosy and these texts are coming in and I'm like, oh, what's going on? Ooh, anything new? Okay, so look, Monique said, I'm a 0 to 100 type of person. I can snap at somebody, but I can very easily and quickly apologize in that moment. That is not true. And I'm going to tell you why. So I walked over and I said, you know what? I'm sorry for threatening you with a bottle. I'm going to be a woman and apologize right now because that was all around. Candiace said, looking back, I still don't understand why Monique chose Ashley's side. Ashley screwed her with an inch of her life the year before, the real defamatory, damaging information, saying she was drunk driving in a community where she claimed to have so much clout. You're threatening to become physical with me, but you let that slide and forgave Ashley? That's fishy. I agree. But again, the one thing that Candiace is missing, Monique's a social climber. Here's the thing. Ashley, Giselle, and Robin are all on in Monique's burn book. However, Monique is strategic. Monique at this moment was like, I need Ashley. It's an alliance. Because if Ashley aligns with me, then when the producers are looking for someone to get rid of, they'll get rid of Candiace, right? Maybe I can bring one of my friends on. I need Giselle because Giselle's a pawn of the production. And if I'm on Giselle's good side, I'll always have a place. At the very least, I can't be on Giselle's bad side. And she looked at Robin and she said, Robin, that's Giselle's friend, right? That's Giselle's friend. So I got to stay on good side because if I get on Robin's bad side, I might get on Giselle's bad side. Monique is strategic, but I have no doubt, like any good Libra, Monique accrued enough power because this is a very Libra thing and a very Piscean thing too, right? Don't sleep on Libras, don't sleep on Pisces, and a very Gemini thing, right? You accumulate power. When somebody pisses them off and they know they are not strong enough to strike back, and it's a very Cancerian thing also, they know they are not strong enough to strike back the way they want. See, you look at Scorpios. Scorpios will go to war even if they're not strong enough. And maybe they'll win, maybe they'll lose. Cancers, Pisces, Geminis, and Libras, they will literally they'll literally be like, all right, bitch. Okay, I couldn't get you then. So let me just be quiet. Let me keep accumulating power because I have a goal and I have to get more power. However, don't think I forgot. And when I get to that top, please believe I'm going to send a boulder down the cliff to your direction. Just wait. Just wait. Don't worry. I don't care if it's 80 years. I'm going to send a boulder down to your familial home. I don't care if you don't live there anymore. That shit is going to roll over your grave. So that's the way Cancers, Pisces, Libras, and Geminis are when somebody really screws them over. I don't think that Monique had forgiven. I think she was just being strategic and given enough time. After she got done screwing over Candiace and after she got done accumulating power, she would have tried to oust Giselle from the show. She would have tried to embarrass Ashley, and she damn sure would have gotten into a fight of Robin. Trust and believe that, right? Okay, so amid all the drama was an allegation, right? Was an allegation that catapulted the Real Housewives of Potomac back into the headlines. 3 days after the filming of Monique's rainbow baby shower, a cameraman claimed in court documents that Michael grabbed and groped his butt, an allegation that led Michael to be charged with felony assault, as well as this misdemeanor improper sexual contact. You guys, things are getting good. I'm sorry, I have to take a bite of the cookie. I actually said, take a moment and digest this. Ashley said, Michael and I just got back together after being separated. You know, during the show, doing the show can be hard on a couple because housewives were meant to share it all. So when the show first started, stuff we normally would keep private, I was bringing up on national television. That plus the fact that we were working together on the business had us interacting with one another in a totally different way than we had in the past. But now we're back together stronger than ever. And then this happened. Candiace said it all happened at Monique's rainbow shower, but we didn't hear about it until later that filming when TMC broke the story. Andy said, ain't shit, Andy Cohen said, I can't get over that. I was stunned when it came out. And then I was stunned when Michael reminded me on the reunion that he grabbed my butt. I mean, I had truly forgotten that. How many people grab your butt in a day, Andy, at work? I just want to know. Because for you to forget that, you truly forgotten it, you let people forget about how many times he gets his butt grabbed. In your place of work, it's so common for someone to touch your physical, your coworkers or your employees' husbands, that you truly forgot about that? Sure, Andy. Go back to telling Benjamin's bedtime stories because only your sons believe in that, right? Giselle said Michael had been grabbing ass since season 1. It's funny that Giselle doesn't care about that. Ashley doesn't care about that. But let's go into Ashley's statement. Michael and I had just gotten back together after being separated. No, Ashley. Michael said that he ain't want his kids to have your mom's blood because she's an ain't shit mom, and he's scared you're gonna be an ain't shit mom too. Michael was allegedly posting his pictures on Grindr. You said that wasn't him. Spoiler alert, I saw the pictures. They look like him, but whatever. Michael had been caught cheating. Michael kicked Ashley out. Ashley had to go into like a little 2-bedroom apartment halfway across the world. She came back at Michael's request, but then she had to sign a new prenup saying that she had to stay with him a million more years or she wasn't going to get anything, right? That's what happened, right? The cameraman. So for Ashley to skim over all that shit about Michael's cheating, infidelity, talking to her like shit, kicking her out, refusing to imagine a world where a man that looks like he has late stages leprosy, that looks like when he is over you, there are skin flakes falling in your eyes, that literally is older than Father Time on a damn like Segway zooming around the office, telling you that he doesn't think your genetics and your rearing are good enough to hold his seed. Imagine a man that looks like Gollum, stretched out. Ew, and even the way Michael stands, I can imagine when he doesn't have any clothes off. Ugh. Anyway, let's move on. We're going to dark places, and this is a fun book club. Imagine that person telling you that your genetics aren't good enough for him. Imagine. And even if we take the way he looks out of it, and I know it's a lot to take out his looks, but let's just forget about him. Let's look at the type of person he is inside. The type of person he is, the eternal Peter Pan, not in a very funny way, but in a very like dark way. The fact that you married somebody as a trophy wife, and even when she has postpartum depression, she has to work as fast as she can to get into a sexy shape, or else you're going to what? Literally, you should be eating peaches and cottage cheese now. And you got the nerve. Didn't he just cheat on her last reunion when Candiace went and told Giselle that he was at the strip club and like this and that? And you know, oh, that's what I meant to say. You know why I think Michael is so hard on Candiace? And you know why I think Ashley doesn't like Candiace? Where it really stems from? Google it. Every woman, or allegedly you know what, let's pull this back. Every person that Michael has been rumored to be looking for or stepping out with, every person, Candiace's complexion. Let's just say, what's up, Bondi Blue? Did I get a super chat from Bondi? Let's see, where are my super chats at? Oh, Rim, thank you for the super chat. Do I have a super chat? Oh, thank you. Shout out to Bondi Blue. Shout out to Blondie Blue. Hey, Bondi, you guys. You listen, if you guys are not subscribed to Bondi Blue's channel, go and subscribe. But they also have a ladies first. They have a ladies first panel. Go and subscribe to their ladies first part. It is for people on YouTube who are 100% friends. They ride for each other, they support each other, and they are all separately and together flourishing. This is the type of womanhood and sisterhood. Forget about woman or sister. This is the type of friendship we need to see more of on YouTube. They are literally by themselves powerhouses, and together they have the best panels. Now they do, and I will say they pick the most esteemed guests. The guests that come on the ladies first panels, I think they're like a step up in life. They're on another level. Now you guys might be guessing, yes, I have been a guest on the ladies first panel. But aside from that, go ahead and check it out. But y'all, if y'all haven't checked out Bondi Blue's channel, check it out. Listen. So that's tea. That is tea, right? XQ said you have your headphones in. XQ was like, yep. You know what the ultimate work thing for faking work is? This is what I used to do. I would have my earplugs in. I would have my hair like this so you couldn't see anything, right? Well, I remember one time, at one point, I started braiding my hair into two like pigtails just to make sure that shit didn't move, right? And sometimes I would just sit back when it was really funny and act like I was like thinking about the problem at my screen, like, what's the best way? Meanwhile, I'm listening to like whatever. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Every, right? Oh, thank you, Kalina. I appreciate that. Let me tell y'all something. Listen, let's just say this. Let's just say Chris Bassett and Michael Darby have more in common than the milky pearl. Well, they don't even got the color of their skin right because Michael is still flaking. But let's just say Chris Bassett and Michael Darby seem to both like the same type of chocolate. If you know what I remember when Chris said, Mia, you're not even my type. And Mia was like, because she couldn't even comprehend. I looked at her, I was like, you are not Chris's type or Michael Darby's. And what's that mean for Ashley? You know what also reminds me of, right? I saw Ashley on her Instagram live, because that's the thing about Ashley. I don't even follow Portia and Simon. But Ashley Darby, something about her Instagram feed, I think I like hate watch it, right? Because it's just so funny to me. You know how Ashley is going through this phase where you could tell everybody's been telling her, you look so much like Doja Cat. Has anybody ever told you look like Doja Cat? Damn, girl, you look like Doja Cat. And she's going through that phase where a lot of people are telling her she looks like Doja Cat. And there's a resemblance there, right? Not in Doja Cat's body, but there's a resemblance a little bit in Doja Cat's face. Enough, right? That I'm like, okay, I can get it. People that aren't used to being around Black people could maybe see how she looks like Doja Cat, right? There's a resemblance. But she's taking it so far. You saw on the Halloween, she dressed up as Doja Cat. She keeps trying to make it a little spicy. She was on vacation. She had her hair in an orange head wrap. Then she had on, like, you know, the Chiquita banana orange pants and an orange thing, right? It looked like she went shopping on Amazon Live. It looked like she went shopping on Portia's Amazon Live and messed things up, right? But anyway, she was there. And she was like dancing. And she was trying to make, she was trying to make it jiggle. Now, I say this as a woman that cannot make it jiggle, right? I know, I can't, right? I accept my shortcomings. It's fine. When it's time for the twerker later at the party, I just like start doing the two-step and hyping up my girlfriends like, hey, because ain't nothing twerking on my end, right? Even when I try, I'm like, it's not moving, right? And before y'all say anything, shut up. Yes, I do have something to move. But it just, I don't know. Some people are just, I don't know. Some people are just naturally blessed. It's not me. Ashley is on my side of things. So she had those pants and she was trying to like make the leg up and make it jiggle and doing all this stuff. And with the pants going on, it kind of looked like it, but no, you not twerk it if every part of your body is moving, right? But it occurred to me that that Ashley, because I do believe that Michael is the R word, right? I do, based on what I've seen. I think he holds questionable views about women that look like me and darker, right? Um, and I think that Ashley was like the acceptable point of spicy for him. I think that Ashley was like, doing all this twerk fest and this and that. And when you're in a party with Michael Darby and all his offbeat friends dancing to like and Ashley comes in with just a little bit of rhythm, they were like, hey, hey, that's too much rhythm for him. But they were like, hey, hey, hey. And Ashley was like doing it. And she was like, oh my God, I got like my girl. She can twerk. She knows this to 50 cents in the club. Ooh, I'm living my dream. But I do believe that if he had his choice, he would go down a few shades. And the funny thing is, I think that he feels that, you see, he has his little affection for Juan. I think he definitely thinks the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. You know if I'm saying, y'all know what I'm saying, right? Listen, that's all I'm saying, right? And that's all I'm saying. Listen, Ashley is willing to do anything to keep that man. You are right. You are right, Kimmy. And unfortunately, Michael's going to make her do anything to keep that man, right? Listen. Okay, so let's get back to this, right? So, Candiace said, two of our other producers had their pets patted or grabbed by Michael. That's why we weren't surprised. Lauren Hall and Lawson said, we'd heard off the record that Michael had grabbed the asses of a lot of the gay men on the production team. Lauren Hall Lawson, I don't know who she is, but I take offense at that. She said, grab the butts of a lot of gay men on the producing team. Are you telling me because somebody is LGBTQ, then that opens, again, I hope I'm misreading what she says, but does that open their body up or invite touch? What that got to do with anything? That's like saying because I'm hetero that any hetero man can touch me. What are you talking about? And even if I wasn't hetero, let's just say I was bi-curious, LBQ, who cares? That doesn't mean it's not an invitation. So what does it have to do about whatever? But I see in this world, when you say, oh, it was there, people are like, oh, that's just what they do. And that's not what they do, okay? Giselle said, Michael likes to squeeze men's buttocks and they don't like it. This cameraman, he took it and responded like any other straight man would in the moment. But again, this conversation annoys me. And I don't know if anybody's a member of the LGBTQ and a man in the chat, right? I think almost everybody listens to me as a woman. But just because any straight man would, I think any man that did not want to be touched would react like that, whether they were LGBTQ, whether they were hetero, no matter what it is. I think that they would have chat. You invaded my space. I didn't want your touch. Get out of here, right? Who said Ashley is prettier than Doja Cat? If you're watching right now from work, I'm giving a disbelieving, condescending look at the screen. Ashley's prettier than Doja Cat. Doja who? Have you seen Doja Cat's body? I can't. I just gotta get into it, y'all. Pop up with the get into it, y'all. Say, I just gotta get into it, y'all. Plot. Have you seen Doja Cat dance? Have you seen the swivel of her hips? Have you seen the curve of her back? Ain't she a phenomenal woman? Get out of here. Ashley's prettier than Doja. But listen, it doesn't matter. We could get into this, right? Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay. So, oh my God, for anybody that likes butter pecan ice cream, I know that's the official ice cream of Black people. My mom used to always say, if anybody's passing for white, go and see if they got butter pecan ice cream in their freezer, and that'll let you know. But it's, oh my God, it's these things. Hold on, Texas pecan ice cream bars. Don't ask me why. I think this is a foreign brand from Germany. It is. It's a foreign brand from Germany. New. Hold on if I can find it for y'all. I'm just saying, if you guys see these, I don't even know if they sell these in America. If you guys see this, it's Texas Pecan New Ice Cream Adventure. If you guys see them and you like butter pecan, grab it. They are so good. But anyway, let's get back to this book before y'all all like drop out. So look, right? Doja's better than Ashley. Darby's prettier than Doja. She ain't got Doja's body. She ain't got Doja's rhythm. She ain't got Doja's talent. She ain't got Doja's face. I like Doja. I even like the way shout out because Doja, when she first came out and her wigs were all over the place, but I had to laugh because I'm not gonna lie. When I got a wig on, sometimes I'll care and I'll melt the lace, and other times I'm like, and so what? Mind your business. Did you really think I had hot pink hair? Shut up. You know? So anyway, so Giselle goes on to say that there was no doubt in my mind that Michael squeezed the wrong ass. Monique said, I feel awful that Ashley was going through all that. Like, what if it's true? This is what your husband's doing to you, but also, what if it's not true? Now you're both being dragged through the mud in the media, all while trying to have a baby after you just lost one. Monique, shut up. Monique is such a liar. But you know what? She's that type of liar that I just have to laugh with. Because you know, sometimes when it's just like, girl, shut up. Like when they try to act like, oh my God, I'm like, this is what your husband's doing to you? But what if he's not? Monique, shut up. I don't know why that whole statement. Because another thing is she was trying to cover her ass because Candiace had let out, right? TG, girl, if TG says my son is a gamer and I told him he needs to find out the game she plays and try to get a date, you love to TG. If your son can bag Doja Cat, you better tell him to get as many babies out of her as she can. They're gonna be some beautiful, talented babies, and on top of that, invite us all to the wedding. At least live stream that mess, right? Let's see. You said, I hate to see talented Black women waste her worth and she can go so far, but she's getting in her own way by leaning on stands rather than talented smart. I don't think so. But listen, we'll have a Doja Cat discussion because she always like brings in a thing, but I'm a fan of Doja Cat. I'm a fan, right? So here's the thing. Let's get into it, right? Ashley said, it wasn't until this experience that I realized that Monique was really a true friend because when Michael was going through his stuff in the four, the way Monique had her backs and really helped to show the truth. It wasn't just for the cameras. She could have taken joy in it, used it as an option to have a storyline or a funny soundbite, but she realized the severity of the situation and was really supportive. So there's a fan theory, if you guys haven't heard it, but that Monique is a control freak. That much is true. She delights in being a control freak. She has this huge basement, right? And even outdoors. You've seen her house. It's big. It's like her estate. All of her house has security footage. And in a house that big, you need security footage because what if something happens? What if somebody tries to get in and you just need it? Monique, oddly enough, said that at the time of that incident where it could have proved whether what the cameraman was saying or not, she said, oddly enough, that the camera wasn't filming or the tape wasn't working or something. It's been a long-held conspiracy theory that Monique covered up for Ashley. It's alleged that she was basically covering up for Ashley because she had the thing and Ashley owed her a favor. So Monique destroyed the footage for Ashley to actually help her. And that's why Ashley was also riding so hard for Monique. Because prior to that, Ashley did not mess with Monique because Ashley was trying to get under Giselle's wing and she knew where the power was. And Monique was a person of interest for Giselle. And Ashley would have never sided with Monique if she was trying to get to Giselle. You see what I'm saying, right? So then Candiace just comes out and says the only reason Monique stood by Ashley's side after the butt tap was because it looked good for her on the show. She needed to be contrarian and hold a specific position to garner more camera time. That was an unpopular position and it was a vacant position and she filled it. Okay. Ultimately, charges against Michael Darby were dismissed by Montgomery County Court due to insufficient evidence. Do you know why they were dismissed? It's rumored that the cameraman settled with Michael Darby. I believe the cameraman refused to cooperate after that. They didn't have insufficient evidence, and they dismissed it. He refused to cooperate. There wasn't enough evidence. Michael Darby is a rich. Take it how you want it, right? And that's why it got dismissed. fine, if the camera wanted to settle, that's his own business. It's his own harsh. One could argue that Michael is a serial, whatever he is, and he goes around getting accused over and over and over again. But just because something was dismissed, you need to realize that when most things are dismissed, depending on how big the settlement is, people often negotiate that you cannot speak on it anymore. It would, sorry guys, my lips are too. I traveled and I left all my makeup at the last place, even my eyeshadow. So that's why my eyes don't look like Tinkerbell right now, right? But don't worry, I'm going to a drugstore tomorrow. I'm stocking up. And I don't even have any lipstick, so I'm using my Benetint. It was in my carry-on, don't ask why. So that's the only thing I have, slightly rosy lips, and that's not even doing the job. Anyway, Joshua Brown, another producer, said, Ashley and Michael, for all the things they've given, for all the things they've been through, are actually incredibly open about what's going on in their personal lives and with their marriage because they're both fame whores. Michael wants to be famous so bad, and so does Ashley. And the thing is, Ashley is shameless, so she doesn't care if she's famous for being the freak hoe of the week. I'm not saying she is one, but you get my point. I'm just humor me, right? Now, Ashley Darby said, I was not surprised my marriage would be a topic of discussion on the show. We are as polar opposite as you can get. We're from different continents, different races, different ages. There's so much for people to dissect. That's not new to me. So thankfully, I've already had a pretty strong armor against that. Girl, Ashley was on Say Yes to the Dress. This girl's been chasing fame for the longest. Girl, shut up, right? And fame and money, right? Because when you saw her on Say Yes to the Dress, Ashley walked in with her hair flatter than flat. Like literally, you know how somebody flat irons their hair, but you can tell they use a cheap, like $11.99 flat iron from Amazon and hasn't changed that flat iron in 4 years, right? Her hair was flat iron within an inch of his life. It did not look good. It was pulled back into a limp ponytail, right? She had on like some dumb dress and some Steve Madden pumps that didn't even match. It just some rainbow dress, no shade of rainbow. Y'all know I got shit in my closet from Rainbow, but it don't look like it's from like the mannequins of Rainbow. It looks like the back where it kind of looks like maybe, yes, the shirt's $3, but it looks like she spent $29.99 on it. You know that section of Rainbow where you're like, it looks like quality for Rainbow, right? Anyway, and I said, all I heard when she walked into the room was, started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team's here. That's what it looked like when she walked in the room. Just broke. And Michael, her multi-millionaire husband, $100 millionaire husband that used to own the Watergate Hotel. I got a little story brewing about that one and how and why he lost it. Only gave you a $10,000 budget for your wedding dress. Normal people working at Prudential Life Insurance save up and have $10,000 for a wedding dress. I'm being dead serious. I don't think you guys realize how much $1 million is, how much $100 million is. I know you've been married, Gollum, when you were on your search for the ring, right? In the hells of Mordor. But this is my first wedding. If you don't loosen up that damn budget, $10,000 on a wedding dress. Again, we're not talking about people working at McDonald's. We're talking about somebody that's supposed to at one time own the Watergate Hotel. Man, get out of here, right? All I'm saying is, wouldn't have been me for the dress and for the skin flaking in my eyes. But let's just go on, right? Andy said, Michael's someone who, not unlike Simon von Kempen, another Australian, really has a love-hate relationship with the camera. There's something he really must enjoy about whatever being on the show brings him. On the other hand, he gets caught up with a lot of mess season to season. It's funny how Andy can speak so kindly and respectful about problematic people, but when it comes to Candiace, all bets are off. And I stand by that, right? Giselle said, don't get me wrong, I like Michael. He's a wild card. When he's around, you do not know what's going to happen. You cannot predict it. The producer in me knows that's good TV. Giselle's the producer in me. Giselle, do you have a producer credit? Are you getting paid more? Are you using this? What do you mean the producer in you? This is how Jamal Bryant got you to build up that church as a first lady, and you didn't know how to ingrain yourself enough that when he tried to pull back, you were locked arms with him like, where you going? But where you going? Because if you leave, this whole church crumbles without me. Do you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying, right? Season 5 began. A new cast member joined the show, Dr. Wendy Osefo, a Nigerian-born professor, political analyst, entrepreneur, and married mother of 3 with 4 degrees and a penchant to speak her mind. I know that's right, Dr. Osefo. Wendy said, a friend of mine knew one of the executive producers and recommended me. Wendy was literally writing talk about making up Wendy's friend at gmail.com, Wendy's friend 2 at gmail.com, emailing the executive producers. Joshua Brown said, we always look for women who have some sort of organic connection to the group. Wendy and Candiace had worked together on a charity, and they both run in the political circles. And Wendy had met Karen at a charity event. And let me tell you something. The producers crack me up when they're like, oh, we want this organic addition to the group. Because if somebody really is a power broker and a mover and shaker in a certain area, of course we're going to run. Unless I just moved to the area, of course, we're going to run into each other's path. So what is this organic connection to say that but this explains one. She said Wendy had met Karen at a charity event. So Wendy said they were on the board together. Was Karen being serious when she said, I don't know who this is? Or was Karen actually being a jerk about it? It's interesting to know. Candiace said, I love Wendy. I was so excited when she was a cast. I was like, yes, we have a beautiful dark-skinned woman who is degreed down. I like Wendy too. But you know the one thing I do like about Wendy? It might be just Wendy's personality, but Wendy to me strikes me as a very loyal person. I don't think she's loyal to the point of being stupid like the way Candiace was earlier. And I'm not saying Candiace was stupid, but I am saying that the loyalty that she would show people on that show, it's like she forgot that they were looking at it as a paycheck. And Candiace was genuinely looking at it like she was building connections. I don't think that Candiace now looks at it like that, but at that point she was. And I'm not saying Candiace is wrong for doing that because I probably would have, because everybody's so fake. And Candiace is at Sagittarius. When they mess with you, they really, really mess with you, right? I think Wendy is a bit loyal to Candiace in the way that Wendy seems like if you treat me with respect and you're good to me and you put me down and you watch my back, then I will watch your back too. You know, Wendy's a human being, right? Karen said, the first time I sat down with Wendy for more than 5 minutes was on the show. And as I said on the show, I wasn't impressed. I'm staring at the camera right now for those of you guys listening at work. Karen, again, y'all let Karen slide because you find her funny, but Karen is very classist. She is very elitist. And there's things that I feel that are. I used to think that Karen was colorist for the way she treated Candiace, but I have a theory on what that. I did a recap of the last Real Housewives of Potomac reunion season 1. You guys should watch it. It's really good. It's a recap / rant, right? I did all that, and I did all that to say that I think the reason why Karen and Candiace used to be tight, and then Candiace's mom got really tight with Karen. And then that's when Karen started saying Candiace is a spoiled brat. Candiace needs to grow up. She had no sympathy for Candiace. And I used to think like, that's so weird. How's she tight with you and your mom, but she has no sympathy for you? And then when I saw Miss Dorothy on that video set, throwing Candiace under the bus, talking shit about Candiace, laughing about Candiace and her man, to all those things because she was willing to humiliate Candiace in order to control her. That's when I said, what if the reason Candiace and Karen actually fell out was not Monique, but it's because your mom was telling her shit about what a bad daughter you are, how disrespectful you are, how you're a spoiled brat. And that poisoned Karen's mind. And Karen being a mom was like, well, if her mom's telling me about this, this must be true. What if that's what's going on? Has anybody ever thought about that? Right? Karen has been compromised by Candiace's mom. And now that we see the way that Candiace's mom really does operate, it's not such a far-fetched theory, you know? I just listen, Candiace's mom, hey KB, Candiace's mom is miserable and ruined her relationship, and Candiace needed a mom. Let me tell you something. That's the thing that Candiace's mom is so mad about. Say what you want about Candiace and Chris. That relationship is strong. They are two codependent people in love with each other. They ain't going nowhere. And neither of them, no matter what y'all think of them separately, neither of them have any toxic traits enough to make the other person leave. There's no cheating. There's no abuse. There's no any of that, right? Yeah, Candiace might have a mouth and you can't take it, but Chris loves it. And Chris might not know how to stand by Candiace's side, but judging from the way her mom acted, it's more loyalty than even her own mom gives her. And I say this with love because my parents are two codependent people that found each other, that clung to each other. Y'all say what you want. Most of our parents that are still together is because they're both codependent. Codependency has gotten a bad name in today's society, right? But let's get into this because we are almost done with chapter 3, right? She said, so anyway, Karen said, I'm not impressed. We keep letting, Karen is very classist. She's very elitist. just you don't know who Wendy is doesn't mean you have to be dismissive of her, Karen. That's all I'm saying. Giselle said, my first scene with Wendy, she screamed at me about something. And in my mind, I was like, I know she's just trying to find her footing, so I'm going to give her some slack. After about a month or so, I could see her feeling more comfortable in being herself. And I really think Wendy is a great addition. It's an extremely difficult to come into the cast, especially 5 seasons in, and melt with the group, but Wendy did that. Candiace said, one of the big pieces of advice I gave Wendy when we first met was the importance of having a moment. Wendy said, that advice really changed the game for me. Candiace gave it to me right before I went on my first trip, the local one at Monique's house in Newburgh, and she said, this is where things get hot. Just be prepared. And when you haven't had your moment yet, this would be a good time to do that. And I said, what are you talking about? I've spoken up. And she said, yeah, you've said your opinion, but you haven't had a moment. Something where we can all say that was Wendy's moment. You need a moment. It was from that conversation that Dr. Wendy addressed me correctly was born. Listen, y'all can say what you want. Candiace put Wendy down to game. And Wendy was loyal to that because her. I want one. Listen, say what you want. They all work on a reality show. It's rules to every job. Don't you wish in some of your jobs that when you first came in, people had put you down to game instead of sitting there and watch you make a fool of yourself at work when they could have just told you, oh, we don't do things like that? I admire the fact that Candiace put Wendy down to game. Go ahead, Candy. Season 5 ended up being a breakthrough season for the Real Housewives of Potomac, the series garnering its highest ratings yet, but it was a bittersweet success considering the season also included a horrific physical altercation between Monique and Candiace. Isn't that funny that even the book says it was a physical altercation, but on the reunion, Andy said you were almost physically assaulted? Find that odd, right? But then I looked at that again and I said, maybe that was Andy walking shit back because when he opened his mouth to say it, he already realized that he was halfway wrong, but he wanted to stick it to Candiace so much he just kept going, right? Robin said, we get into the fight, y'all. She said, in the beginning of the season, Candiace was on thin ice with a lot of us. Didn't I tell you when they were fighting, Monique thought that Candiace was about to be kicked out? Candiace said, I spent the whole first quarter of that season trying to make up with everyone. I was fighting with Giselle, fighting with Robin, fighting with Monique. At every turn, I said I was sorry. Monique said, Candiace kept trying to have conversations with me, but I was not going to do it one-on-one. I wanted witnesses around, and every single time she didn't want to talk. All of a sudden, we're at a winery and she gets this liquid confidence to finally talk. She was trying to start an argument and I was just laughing. Monique is a psychopath. That's not what happened at all. We saw the tape. Candiace was the one amusing Giselle, amusing Robin, going, we're asleep. And Monique was getting madder and madder. It's scary to me how even Monique can twist the truth when people saw the truth. I don't care if you think she was justified or not. It's like me trying to convince you that, like, I'm not on YouTube Live. And you're like, Tisa, we see you, girl. It's taped, recorded, and arguing about whether I'm on YouTube Live. Candiace said, it was all light stuff. I teased her about faking like she was asleep when I was leaving her log cabin in the woods. And she was like, you're not a mother. You know, shaming me for not having a child. It just kept escalating from there. I will say I do hate when people are like, you're not a mom. You don't understand. Nobody told you to have those babies. And we're not talking about your damn kids. So who cares if somebody's a mom or not? I don't understand that. But it's almost like the way when Portia Williams was like, you'll never understand the convictions of a wife. And please, wasn't Lot's wife, did she understand the convictions of a wife? I know I'd never been to Sunday school, but I do remember the story of Lot's wife when she turned to salt. Was that Lot? Or was that Cain? No. Sodom and Gomorrah. Was it Sodom and Gomorrah? Whose wife turned to salt? It doesn't matter. The point is, Portia, shut up. Monique, shut up. That's my point, right? So anyway, Candiace said, it was all light stuff. I teased her about faking like she was asleep when I was leaving her log cabin in the woods. And you're not a brother. Monique said she got her hand right in my face, just like she did with Ashley in the butter knife. No, Monique, right? Her hand was so close to my chin that it could have touched me. And I can't do hands in the face. I don't play. Candiace said my hand was barely in her face. We weren't fighting, remember? Okay, first of all, Monique, Candiace is better than, no, actually she's not, because I'm at the age when I was in high school, if you had reached in and said, you want me to drag you and flip my hair, literally I would have reached across and mollywopped you in the face and then jumped back, right? To see what you got, because people in my school, they didn't just fight with their hands, usually they might have something else, right? swinging something else, something that can slice skin. So I would have gone in and mollywopped her as quick as I could have, and then I would have bounced back into position and then given her the ones and twos. And if she had something that was beyond her hands and fists, I would have picked up a chair and slung it across there. That's in high school. That's in high school when we were all little kids. Me now would have just been like, don't touch my hair. But it is if you are saying we're asleep and twirling around, touching somebody's hair is the international sign of, if not let's fight, it's the international sign of disrespect. Now, I'm old enough and mature enough, I will not fight over somebody touching my hair unless, they yank aggressively, and I'll move back, because especially if I'm at work, right? I'll damn sure, that's where Candiace messed up. I would have damn sure fell to the floor and called the police. Hello, there's been a crime. She touched my hair. She said, do you want me to drag you? And I saw the devil. I saw the trouble. My location, I'm at 123 Mockingbird Lane, Suite AB. Yes, she is wearing a red shirt and purple pants. Yes, she is also wearing her hair is in a wrap, a combed out wrap. She looks a little bit like the Francine from Arthur. Yes, that is her. Her ends are flipped up. Please come pick her up. I would have definitely done that. I would have been on the ground. Oh my God. I saw the devil. Y'all think I'm joking. I still got a temper. I will not fight you. We're too old to be fighting. This is how I make my money. You're not putting a bruise on this face. If you can get past these fists of fury, you're not putting a bruise on my face. Please believe it would have been like, hello. Hello. Literally, they would have came in. Is there an assault? You would have saw me collapse on the floor. Thank God you're here. I've never been so scared in my life. Please believe, please believe, please believe, right? Please believe I wouldn't have stopped now, right? Hold on, let me get back to my thing. I know, let's get back to this. So on that note, I would have played it different than Candiace. Everybody talking about Candiace cries too much. Y'all would have been writing think pieces. You would have been writing think pieces on me. You just would have been writing. Listen. Listen. They literally, you would have been writing think pieces on Twitter about. I would have been on trial acting like I was like the Menendez brothers' sister. I don't know it. She would have literally, I would have been sitting in the witness stand crying. She would have literally, over with her defense attorney in the courtroom, been like this, and I'd have been like, don't hit me, Monique. Don't hit me. Y'all would have saw some grade A acting that day. So in that end, I think Candiace was trying to act too strong. I would have been like, no, you're faking. We'll leave it to a court of law to see if I'm faking, right? We'll leave it to a court of law because goddamn, I'm traumatized, right? Listen, I'm just saying. So Monique said she swung over with a wine glass and hit me in the face. Do you know why that's a lie? And I will take this to my grave, right? I've seen enough fights, and I've even seen fights inviting glasses, and sometimes it was bottles. When something connects with your face, it either shatters or it bounces off. There is no way that something hit you in the mouth so hard that it caused the inside of your lip to bleed profusely, and there was nothing on the outside. But let me tell you something. Monique knew she fucked up. And if you see, Monique has a psychological problem that she always has to be the victim. She always has to be justified in what she does. Let me tell y'all something. I get on my King Kong shit sometimes too. Not fighting, because we're too old for that. But I get on my King Kong shit sometimes where I become like, just like really like wrong. When I calm down, I'm like, damn, Tisa, you were dead wrong. But when I'm on my King Kong shit, I own it. I'm like, yeah, like, why'd you burn down? Why'd you knock over the people's village? Fuck your village and burn it. Like, literally, I don't give a fuck. Burn it all. I don't care. Later on, I'll be like, damn, I was really, really wrong. But in that time, I don't need to be right. I don't care if you're right. I'm just mad and I'm on some King Kong shit, like on a war path, right? Monique doesn't have that. She gets on King Kong shit. She goes on a war path, but she always has to play victim. In that time, she knew she messed up. And remember, she was in that stairway and she was like, move out my way, blah, 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 blah. When you see her, if you slow her down, you see her start to play the inside of her lip. And then and everybody's just like, Monique, calm down. And she sees the fear and everything. and you see her bite down on her lip hard. And then she's like, what is that? Is that my lip? Is that my lip bleeding? Girl, you bit your own lip because you didn't want to get in trouble. Now, I know everybody's just like, who would be crazy enough to bite into their own lip? The same person that went crazy and then went on a social media smear campaign to besmirch Candiace's name and literally send the hate mob called Twitter on her. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, right? Listen, listen, that's all I'm saying. So anyway, she said, Monique told her, you need to back up. And she said, what you gonna do? You gonna drag me? And that just took me over the edge because I literally gave you the warning and now you're pushing me. Monique, and this is the part that nobody's ever said about Candiace. Who the fuck are you? Who are you? The one thing about Monique and Candiace that always rubbed me the wrong way is Monique was on some bully King Kong shit. And again, I don't think I'm a bully. Am I a bully? No, listen, honestly, I'm not a bully and I hate to see other people bully, right? I can hold my own. I can hold my own verbally, physically, like I can hold my own, but I hate to see other people bully. And it always struck me as odd that a lot of people were fine with this bully narrative that Monique was pushing, right? It just took me over the edge. Literally, I just gave you the warning and now you're pushing me. Bitch, who the fuck are you? You're leaning in, you're flipping my hair, you're in my face, and you gave me the warning? If you don't get the... let's move on, right? She said, Candiace said that's when she flicked my hair and I flicked her vest, right? Again, I wish Candiace... No, I don't. Because everything happens for a reason. I wish Candiace had been a fighter. Like, I wish in that moment when Monique flicked my... No, because honestly, if Monique flipped my hair, I would have flicked her vest too. And Monique would have reached over to Molly Wop and she would have gotten some Street Fighter. Ah! Literally, I would have blocked that shit. Like, literally, I would have saw that shit coming like, bitch, you thought, come here, right? I'm just joking. I am nonviolent. But in my mind, that's the way it would have gone. If I was younger, that's the way it would have gone. But I do wish that Candiace had seen it coming and blocked that shit and whatever. Because Monique is only this big. We talk about her matchstick legs, right? It don't take much, I don't think. But then Monique does have those Terminator arms. Because remember when she got upset and she was walking like Sarah, the Terminator 2, oof, 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 around the farmland. I'm gonna kill her, I'm gonna kill her. She was walking like Terminator 2. So let me stop. She does have those biomechanic, cybernetic arms, right? Those bioengineered arms on her. All her strength is not in her legs. If Monique tries to karate kick you, Cobra Kai you could just blow her away. But she hits you with those fists of fury. She does have bioengineered arms, right? So she said, okay, so let me get through this because it gets good, right? She said, she swung over and the wine glass hit my face. When I was hit with the glass, I pulled her head down to the table and started punching her in the back of the head. That's a lie. She didn't throw one glass at you. Shut up, Monique, right? And Candiace says the glass did not leave my hand until after I was pulled down to the table. I remember everyone screaming, Monique, let go of her. And all I was thinking was, I cannot let my wig come off in this camera. That's some real shit. My queen. I cannot live in infamy on the internet as a Black woman whose wig had been ripped off and I was fighting in my cornrows. So I was holding onto my wig. Listen, I can understand with Miss Dorothy being her mom and respectability politics, how she wouldn't have want that wig to come off. However, if my hair was cornrowed down, because usually when I have a wig on, my hair is just like pulled back in some sloppy, like whatever. But if my hair was cornrowed down and I have full face of makeup, I would have came up with that bitch like, now what? Now what? Now what? What we doing? What we doing? You think this? Please. Now what? And guess what? Remember Charmaine on Black in Chicago when her wig got ripped off and her hair was braided back and she had full makeup and she was like, now what? Right? Okay, so Robin said, yes, Candiace is annoying as shit. I don't like the way they're so disrespectful to Candiace. Robin, I don't know. Sometimes her mouth is a too much, but nothing Candiace did or said warranted any type of physical attack. Monique said, they eventually led me to a back room, but my adrenaline was pumping. The force from the glass hitting my face caused my tooth to bust my lip on the inside. It was deep. And now I really wanted to beat her tail. I like the way that Monique showed up, showed out, pulled her across the table, molly-whopped her, walked around the perimeter of the bar like she was not the perimeter of the bar, but the perimeter of the barn like she was Terminator. But yet she still can't get herself to say ass. She said, now I really wanted to beat her tail. You know, the dichotomy, the dualism in people's minds, the way we compartmentalize, it's fascinating, isn't it? Candiace said, I was a mess. Our co-EP was holding me like I was his child. Monique said they were trying to calm me down and I could hear her calling me names and saying, she's fired, she's fired. And I was like, wow, she's still talking. If I'm going to be off the show for fighting, I'm going to whoop her ass. Again, Monique has this hubris that I really wish that somebody that was about that life had been fighting with Monique. Because to say, wow, she's still talking, bitch, who are you? Monique is a bully. I do not like, oh, you're still talking. Bitch, who are you? You can beat somebody up. You can something, but to literally feel the point to dominate somebody to the point that they can't say what they want to say, that's some hubris shit. That's some hubris shit. You're trying to tell me that Candiace can't have any thoughts about you and say anything negative about you? Grow up, girl, right? Candiace said, all of a sudden our EP was like, I need to get you in a car. Please, please, you have to go. I come to find out later it was because Monique, who had been sequestered in the stairwell, found a way out the barn and was running to get me. Monique, by the time I got there, she was already gone. It didn't take long for the higher-ups of Truly Original and Bravo to get involved. Let me tell you something also. I didn't appreciate the way they put Candiace in the car because to me, one, Candiace was the victim, but even not that. The reason they put Candiace in the car is because they still wanted to get Monique on camera acting a black fool. And if Candiace was there would have been a chance that Candiace might assaulted again. And if Candiace got assaulted again, she could have sued Truly Original and Bravo. In that moment, I was really mad at the production because you guys wanted to get a black woman losing her damn mind. Y'all wanted the love and hip hop moment. And you literally was like, Candiace, get out of here so we can take Monique acting a fool. And that's exactly what they did. Now, Lorraine Halton Lawson said, I spoke to both Candiace and Monique that this is very important. You guys pay attention to this. Hey, Rim, right? She said, I spoke to both Monique and Candiace the night of the altercation. Monique is going crazy about how Candiace deserved it and she finally got what she wanted. Candiace, on the other hand, was a puddle of mush and really has been ever since. She vacillates between cascading emotions and her anger toward Monique, but also pain because this was someone she thought was a close friend. It was a much deeper situation than just some girl she got into a fight with. I believe that. I truly, truly believe that. Andy said, right? Oh, hold on, Rem. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Kiki. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the super chat room. Andy said, we don't like when shit like this happens. It's a bad look for the series. It's not why we created the series. This show is not meant to be the Bad Girls Club. It's not meant to be Love and Hip Hop. Is this your king? Is that your king? Is that who people were sitting there? Yes, Andy, Reed, Candiace. I don't understand how somebody can dislike someone so much that you'll let your enemy do some foul shit to them that eventually is going to come back and bite you in the butt. This isn't Love and Hip Hop. Were you saying that? Was you saying this isn't Love After Lockup to Erica Girardi? I'm not even getting on this, you guys. Go watch my recap for the Real Housewives of Potomac. Shout out to Funky Geneva. Go watch a recap for the Real Housewives of Potomac. Y'all know my feelings on this, on Andy, and I don't like the racial connotations and how he refers to the black franchises. This isn't meant to be Love and Hip Hop. Did you say that when Brandy slapped Lisa Vanderpump? Did you say that when goddamn Lisa Rinna busted a glass on the table and tried to go after Kim Richards? Did you? No, you did not. That's how she was holding that glass too. No, you did not. Anyway, let's move on because this gets better, right? Monique said, Andy was really there for me when all this stuff was going down. I didn't feel like I was getting support from anybody, and I wanted an unbiased ear, someone who could have been around so much of this, who could give me advice. Candiace said, do you know Andy never ever reached out to me ever? Not until the airing of the season when I was on Watch What Happens Live, and I have so many qualms with it, especially when I heard he'd spoken to Monique. Oh, it's not over, you guys. It's not over. Andy said, I never reached out to Monique. No shit, she called you, right? She reached out to me and asked if I was available and said she wanted to speak with me. That's how conversation happened. She wanted to plead her case and tell me her side of things. She wanted to prove to me that Candiace provoked her. Monique said, Andy and I had a great talk. Andy listened. He did not try to justify anything. He said, Sometimes cameras catch things and sometimes cameras don't catch things. If this is what you feel played out, stay true to what you feel happened. Maintain that. We'll sort it out when we get to see the footage and when we get to see the reunion. Candiace said, I even reached out to Andy's assistant and asked him to call me. Nothing. That's fucked up. I know he has well over 100 housewives all texting and calling him all the time, but how many of them were physically attacked on camera by their co-star? The fact that he couldn't even schedule 10 minutes to reach out to me, you don't give a fuck. You were making money off our backs and feeding your son with it, and you just don't give a fuck about us, and you can't tell me you can't tell me that you do. And when I saw him, I did say that to his face. Yes, Saggy queen. That's one thing. You can love or hate a Saggy, but a Saggy is going, you know how sometimes people talk shit. And then when somebody walks in, they're like, hey, Andy, what's going on? A Saggy, when they are talking shit to you, they will talk shit. And when you walk in, they'll be like, yeah, good. Sit down. Let me tell you what you think of that. I know she said exactly that to Andy in his face. And let me tell you something. Andy and his ego, I know for a fact, didn't like that. I know for a fact he didn't like him. Some coffee. Hold on. Andy said Candiace was in constant communication with Josh in production. But if she'd left word with my office, I absolutely would have called her back. Also, and she told me to my face that I didn't give a fuck about her, I would certainly remember that. I don't. I do remember her being upset that I'd spoken to Monique. Do y'all believe that Candiace didn't tell Andy what she thought of him? Do you? I need to get my hair shaped. It's really bothering me. It always keeps falling flat in a triangle. Anyway, I don't believe you, Andy. I don't. I don't. Joshua Brown said, I'm not aware of who Andy calls and doesn't call. I personally spoke to Candiace many times, and I hope she feels like the network was and is very supportive of her because we had a lot of thoughtful and emotional conversations about what happened. Candiace said, Bravo didn't give a fuck about me and how traumatic or horrible the situation has been for me. I don't think Joshua works for Bravo. He works for Truly. So Candiace isn't being inconsistent, right? Yes, I have been reached out to and approached and checked on more times than I can count, but in my eyes, they're just doing that to avoid legalities. I agree. Monique said, and he also told me something I really held on to. He said, look, not saying that anything is right, but there's a thing called cause and effect. If you keep poking the bear is going to bite back. He wasn't condoning violence or taking sides. I still own my part in it, but he said, just do what you can. Again, and here's the thing with Andy. You ain't got to lie to kick it. Just be like, I don't mess with Candiace. I don't like Candiace. And that's it. But he won't because he knows if he says that, we'll be like, oh, well, then shut the fuck up, Andy. If you don't like Candiace, then shut up. What are you doing talking? But he knows he can't do that because if he does, we won't take him seriously. So he needs to look unbiased. So he keeps acting like he's cool with Candiace. But we can see by that. And even Michael Rapp, did anybody see Michael Rappaport's dumb? He's another flaky skin thing. When he was talking about Candiace on live, remember when he was talking about Kenya Moore and compared her to an ape? Enough said. Ugh, this coffee is cold. No more coffee. It's cold. Anyway, Andy said, my point of view of this stuff has been totally schooled by what happened with Kenya and Portia because I was the only person in the room that day who didn't understand that Kenya was provoking Portia and that it was about to escalate. That's why I kind of started looking at it as what was Candiace's role in this. That's unusual for me because with any case of physical aggression, the person that gets physical is the one who is punished. I'll see the layers to this. Why does Andy act like Black people have different rules of engagement than white people? And even if the 6 people or 7 people that were Black in that room told you that that's how they thought, that doesn't mean all Black people are like that. The fact that he sees this as a monolith, I find that to be very, very offensive. Also, Andy got it wrong because if we're going to get into the Atlanta chapter later, not today, I know what you're saying. God damn, wrap this up. We're almost done. But that's not what they said. They said that day something was off with Portia. And that day, everybody could see that Portia's energy was off. And that day, they felt that Kenya felt like Portia's energy was off and she was provoking Portia. They didn't say that it's customary in an African-Americanville, Blackville, that when you walk in and you like physically engage with someone, then that's like terms of fisted fury. It gets on my damn nerves. And I'm surprised that Black people, let him get away with this because it's very, very offensive to our community. And that's all I'm saying, right? Let's see. Giselle said, but this was so different. Even as provoking as Kenya was, Portia apologized profusely immediately. She apologized to Andy Cohen. She apologized to Sherry Levin. She apologized to everyone. She didn't go on social media and try to lie about what happened. She had to vilify her castmates. We to this day have not seen Monique grow from this experience. Andy Cohen said, the irony is that I ultimately pushed Monique on her lack of apologies at the reunion and got crucified by the viewers. This discussion happens. News of the fight almost immediately was made to the blogs and the media. Robin said, Monique leaked the story to her fans and the press right away, and we knew it was her because the details of the fight were totally skewed against Candiace. Monique said, I never leaked the story to the bloggers. I told my family and a friend, and I know who leaked it, but it wasn't me. All right, but Monique, shut up. You know what they were saying. Lorraine said, Monique is intoxicated by the fame, like intoxicated. But at the same time, she would deny that she had anything to do with leaking the story. She'll tell you, I only told 2 people. Okay, well then, Monique, they told the blogs. You know what you're doing. Candiace said, I was attacked on social media for nearly a year before the show came out. Robin said it was really bad. They were saying Candiace deserved it. That's what you get for acts of being dragged. I felt terrible for her. Days after a fight, the entire cast, including sans Candiace, met at Karen's house. Monique said, I asked production for an all-cast scene without Candiace so I could apologize for putting them in harm's way. Karen said, I hosted a meeting for Monique to help her get through it. I offered Candiace the same opportunity, which she declined. Wendy said, it was at that meeting that Monique admitted she was not remorseful. Robin said, that was a problem for me. Monique could have been apologetic, but instead she went down with this tough girl, always right act, when in this situation, there's nothing about that right about what she did. Giselle said, at the next day, Monique woke up and was like, oh my gosh, I totally screwed up. Let me make this up to Candiace and the ladies. We would have been able to get on board. Instead, she doubled down. Giselle, shut up. That ain't true, but whatever, right? Robin said that was the last, at least I think the other women might have, Giselle wasn't. Robin said that was the last time Monique was around the entire group until the reunion. Another topic that came of the meeting had to do with the Black women were represented on television. This is a weird one, right? She said, and I don't like it in terms of the way Andy Cohen said this isn't Love and Hip Hop. I don't know. I don't like Andy Cohen in our business, right? Monique said, some of the women who started the show, the OGs, put themselves on a pedestal. They wanted RHOA&RHOP to be the Black show that didn't act Black. I do not go with that whole complaint. The problem is that, number one, we should welcome who we are. And number two, everybody acts out of character, no matter what race you are. Everybody acts a fool. Yeah, I take issue with Monique saying that too. I don't care what y'all say. Monique strikes me as a Trump supporter. I remember even her Twitter and her Instagram, she was literally courting a lot of like the Trumpers. I don't know how to describe it, but she was, right? Anyway, she said, you want RHOA&RHOP to be the Black show that doesn't act Black. Monique is fighting and acting a fool and walking around a barn like you RoboCop acting Black. Because here's the thing, we are not a monolith. And I'm sick of Black people, and I'm saying this, right? If you're not Black, close your ears. But I'm sick of Black people perpetuating a stereotype that the way you were raised in culture is the way all Black people are. Just like I know the way I was raised in culture, okay, people outside my city, outside my state might not have the same value system I have, but I would never be so annoying and have so much hubris as to project my cultural norms, right, onto a Black person in Atlanta, onto a Black person in Minnesota, onto a Black person in Florida. Because you're Black, yeah, we share the same color, and yeah, we are bonded under a oppressive regime. But outside of that, I don't know what y'all do. I don't know what the etiquette is for dating, for asking people out, for fighting, for engaging in I don't even know what the rules are in dating when you move to different parts of the U.S. How the hell are you going to say you want RHOA&RHOP to be a Black show that didn't act Black? What's acting Black, Monique? What's acting Black? There is no acting Black, Monique, right? True, everybody acts out of character no matter what race you are. Everybody acts a fool. Not true, well, true, but you, dummy, were the one that acted out of character and fool on national TV. So please keep that shit, because guess what? Guess what? Like, guess what, right? Listen. I just don't, Monique reinforces to me, as much as she's pro-Black and Black love, I feel like she reinforces negative stereotypes when they suit her. Because prior to her acting out of character, which I don't think was acting out of character, I think it was showing the true her. Prior to her acting like that, she was Miss Polly Perfect. Do you see what I'm saying? So you're even saying this when this suits you, right? Robin said, there's not much representation of Black women on reality television or television period. And the representation that's already out there, whether it's Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives, or even Real Housewives of Atlanta, there's been instances where you see these women get physical and ratchet or whatever. Let's keep going. Candiace said, there's only a stigma attached to our behavior because we're Black. I agree, right? Because when they're cracking glasses on the edges of tables in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, smacking camera down on Real Housewives of Dallas, throwing wine in people's face on Real Housewives of OC, and flipping tables and pulling ponytails on Real Housewives in New Jersey, nobody says, wow, these white women are ghetto, they're dangerous. And it's not talked about is what the only time it's not, and it's not talked about as it is when Black women are being human and doing the same thing. Isn't it funny that as much as people get on Candiace, isn't it funny that in this book, she was the only one not defending Monique, but defending Black womanhood? Whether you're a fan of Candiace or not, this was the most realest shit and accurate portrayal about what the fuck is wrong with Bravo and the way they portray Black womanhood. This was some real shit she just said. And whether you like her or not, you got to admit that was some real shit. And this real shit actually kind of defended what Monique was saying. Not her actions, but what she was saying. Meanwhile, everybody else is like, oh, playing respectability politics. Y'all need to listen to Candiace. That was some real shit. And before y'all saying I'm a Candiace ultimate stan, baby, I'm no one's stan, but I don't like bullies. And I can admit when people are right? Let's see. Giselle said, being a Black woman in this country is tough. We've already got everything. Bitch, you're the ops. You're the plugs. You're talking about being a Black woman in this country is tough. You're the one feeding everybody to producers so you can get your fucking check and get the soundbite. But you got the nerve to be sitting here high and mighty? Being a Black woman in this country is tough. We've already got every obstacle blocking our success. For you to come on this platform as a Black woman and decide it's okay to physically harm your castmate, that is a problem I can't get past. That's not how I was raised. That's not who I am. If I have an issue with you, I have a brain. I know how to talk. Line number 2, because we all seen Giselle when that binder came out. That bitch don't know how to say shit when people come to her neck. She know how to sit there and try to act unbothered, but this is Giselle acting unbothered. Do you have anything to say? No, I do not. I don't care. I absolutely don't care. I don't care. And then she looks like she's about to cry. Girl, shut up, Giselle. I know how to talk. Shut up, right? Anyway, all the women are basically saying that Monique is a disgrace to Black people because she made a mistake. That's not fair. Ashley said that. But that's not true because Candiace didn't say that. Candiace has said that they shouldn't be judged by the dumb shit Monique did. Because everybody on all the Housewives franchise has done dumb, violent shit and they're not judged. So while Monique messed up and Monique did something stupid, all Black women shouldn't be judged, right? But that goes over everybody's head because everybody always wants to come to Candiace, right? Giselle said, there's just a different standard for Black women and especially housewives. Sonia gets drunk and pees in the cornfield. Giselle saying this, okay, that's hilarious. But we could never do that. I agree, Giselle, but this is the weird part because again, you're the fucking industry plant, Giselle. So if you truly believe that, and you truly take a stand in the way Bravo presents Black women, then why are you running around causing all this mayhem, putting your fellow Black people in these situations to look bad? I ask of you, right? Let's see. Robin said, for 4 seasons, we prided ourselves like, yeah, we can call one another out, but we always know how to diffuse the situation in a classy way. And the fact in that moment, Monique went to that level, we felt like she tore down everything we represented. I mean, I can't argue with that. Monique did make a fool out of the show, but it was also a ratings bonanza. And Bravo can't leave a dollar on the floor, right? As the Potomac housewives were working through these feelings, Candiace was working through her own traumas with the fight and ultimately filed a complaint with the District Court of Montgomery County in Maryland, which charged Monique with second-degree assault. Monique shot back and filing a parallel charges, right? She said, I was a mess. It was the lowest place I can recall being in recent years. It got to the point where I could not get through an hour without having a mini panic attack. Monique said, about 10 days after the fight, I started to feel remorseful. I had a conversation with one of our producers and said, I really want to have a talk with Candiace one-on-one, or perhaps with our husbands. And then that day, I got an email from her attorney threatening legal action. I took a screen grab and sent it to my producer saying, never mind. Girl, you took 10 days to apologize. And I know you only even said that to your producers because you got that email. Monique, you're not slick. Monique said, Candiace said, I didn't file anything for almost 2 weeks. I didn't plan to. I watched the lie after lie after lie that she was putting out there. And I was like, you want to go to jail. You want to be publicly embarrassed and flogged because you're effing trying me. Monique said, Candiace filed a complaint against me knowing what it could do to my family. I have 3 kids and she had no guilt about it, no remorse, knowing full well that she hit me with that glass. Monique is going to stick to that lie. I wonder if Chris believes her. Because Chris is married to her and Chris knows her. I wonder if Chris really believes her. Do you think that's why she's sticking to this lie? Because she's sticking to it for a reason. Candiace said about a week later, Monique filed counter charges, and there will never be words to describe how vile, low, and disgusting Monique is for doing that. She's the lowest end of the totem pole of humanity. You know, this is the only time I disagree with Candiace. What Monique was vile, it was low, it was disgusting. And it is on the lowest totem pole of humanity. But also, Candiace, Monique has 3 kids and she's fighting to stay out of jail. She was wrong, but I would do what I need to do to stay out of fucking jail. Like, I'm not going to be going to jail tomorrow. I did the right thing. Please believe there will be theatrics. Please believe I would take some bullshit. I mean, if that's the case, everybody that goes to jail would be like, Your Honor, I have to be truthful. I did it. No, you're going to fight to save. You're going to fight to save, to stay out. And I think that's what Monique did, right? Monique said, the whole thing ended up getting dropped after the state's attorney reviewed the footage. They realized, okay, it was a mutual fight, and they dismissed it. Monique's playing with words. They didn't say it was mutual fight. They said it was mutually consented. For those of you guys don't know, there's a clause in the Bravo contract saying that you will be put in situations where you could potentially basically be struck. Potential situations where emotions run high and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Even though they agreed that Monique assaulted Candiace, the judge said it wasn't criminal because their contract said that they mutually agreed to clash. That's when they said it was consensual, not that it was a mutual fight. They said that Candiace put herself in that situation to be attacked because of the Bravo contract. That's what it was. Monique's playing with words, but whatever, right? And again, I honestly thought, to me, that was racism working for Monique, because I feel like if Monique had assaulted Erica Jane or Crystal or Lisa Rinna, or God forbid anybody else, the judge wouldn't have said it was mutual consent. I believe the judge would have been looking for a reason to send Monique to jail. But whatever, right? It's very easy for people in the criminal system to believe that when Black women argue, the next thing coming is fist. Why? Because that's a negative stereotype that's perpetrated by not only people that are non-Black, but also Black people. So next time you're all saying, yeah, talk smack, get smacked, that's not, realize there are people listening to that, using that as an excuse, saying, oh, but wait, I heard they're violent. I heard that if they raise their voices, they only respond, and next I'm going to get slapped. So that way, whenever you even raise your voice to someone, and they're like, Your Honor, she raised her voice at me, I thought the next thing was physical assault. They believe it because they're like, yeah, like Andy Cohen. I have heard in their community that when they use words, they assault each other. Yeah, that makes sense. That's what I'm saying. Y'all need, not y'all, but people need to be careful about the racist stereotypes they play into, because eventually it's going to be used against you. But that's just me, right? Listen. So Candiace and Monique's clash worked its way through the legal system. The network and Monique came to an agreement about her role for the rest of the season. I told Bravo's legal department I would finish the remainder of the season with the cast members who I felt comfortable filming with and who felt comfortable filming with me, so long as I didn't have to go to the cast trip or go on the finale. You know you weren't invited. Shut up, Monique. Candiace said, I was told that she was not given a choice to film with any of us anymore. Monique said the network did not penalize me at all, not a financial demotion, nothing. Yeah, you had your contract. They can't take back a contract. Noah said Monique was put at arm's length from the rest of the Housewives, which means she wasn't much of a part of the show, and that it's obviously a form of punishment in terms of the amount of episodes she ends up in and her relationship with the rest of the women. There are repercussions in a lot of different ways. So the network even called Monique a liar, saying, yes, you were punished, Monique. Leading to the premiere of season 5, troubles between Monique and her castmates only got worse on social media. Giselle said the coronavirus pandemic pushed the premiere back a month, and the day they told us they were pushing the show back, we were on call with Bravo, and they asked us if we had a unified response on social media. They said, we'll send you a picture and give you a comment about what to say. We were all in agreement, and then Monique chose to post a photo with our faces scratched out. Strange times in the Samuels household. Robin said, then we decided to do a Don't Rush TikTok launch video with the whole cast to assure the fans that we'd be back. Monique was super excited to participate, but the day before the videos were due, she texted me and was like, I'm not going to get the video done because I'm so busy. And then the video came out and everyone was asking, where's Monique? And she was like, I didn't want to be involved in that fakery. All of a sudden, we had all these people coming after us, calling us mean girls because Monique wasn't in the video. Monique is super conniving, right? Giselle said she then released a song boasting about dragging Candiace. Candiace said, I'm not talking about that piece of trash song. Next question. You know Monique is so mad that Candiace is rising up onto the charts, right? Because say what you want, Monique was serious about her drag queen. She wanted to revise her rap career. She wanted to be a star, but not in those CB2. What's that? No, not in those Jabberwocky Star Wars contests. You know what's going on, Monique? We're about to, you guys, I know, we're about to be done with this chapter, right? I'm gonna make it. But you know what's going on with Monique, what her problem was? Remember in Drag Queens when she was dressed up as a slutty R2D2 and her like half android, whatever, as a slutty R2D2 or whatever that Star Wars character is, right? The robot. Remember when she was dressed up in that and she was dancing around Chris Samuel sitting there with his Shark Tale stuff trying to look like, you know, attractive on the throne. And everyone was like, yeah, Monique, you're a gorgeous girl, but you and Chris are not an attractive couple. It reminds me of what Portia's trying to do with Simon, trying to be an attractive couple, acting like they're taking it slow dancing and all that mess, when really it's like nobody aspires to be you guys. You guys are not an attractive couple. And I don't know, well, actually it's not true. Monique and Chris look good together. Chris is not objectively attractive, but they look good together, but not for a music video. And again, she was dressed up as a slutty R2D. You know what? It was just corny fashion. I take that back. Anyway, let's see. Where are we at? We're almost done, you right? Let's go. Candiace said, I'm not talking about that piece of trash song. Next question. Giselle said, I recognize Monique was good for the show, but I'm going to be honest with you, I couldn't get past all this. She would have to do a lot of apologizing. At this point, you're scratching my face out on pictures and the song, the TikTok, now you have to apologize to me. What she said, now you have to apologize to me because we've all said, don't worry about us, Monique. Just apologize to Candiace. We could get past this if you own it, but now you got to apologize to me. They said when the show did finally premiere, Bravo execs and producers had a decision to make. How much of the fight would they show? Andy said, we wound up showing more of what happened than we've ever had in the past. And that was really Franwick's call. No. We've gotten so much blowback over the years about cutting away from stuff. So she said, why don't you show what really happened? Let people decide what they think. And that's what we did. I love the fact that they're trying to act like they're CNN on the front lines. Y'all saw a ratings bonanza. And as much as y'all talk shit, you, Andy Cohen, about this isn't Love and Hip Hop. Y'all want those Love and Hip Hop ratings. Y'all, my earring. It's like, girl, this is getting too long. Even my earring wants to go home. You want those Love and Hip Hop ratings. You want the Love and Hip Hop audience, but you want to sit here and act like you're so high-minded. Shut up, right? That's what Bravo. Mona Scott Young does it better, right? Oh, what a time to be alive. Do y'all remember the first few, when Jocelyn and Stevie first came on the stage in Love and Hip Hop Atlanta? Oh, what a time to be alive. And Moni Slaughter, when she pulled that girl card, oh, what a time to be alive. Anyway, Joshua said, I hope viewers will appreciate that it gets portrayed in a very documentary way. There's no music. There's no interview bites. You just see the event. The viewer can make their judgment about what happened. Lorraine, who seems to be firmly Team Candiace, said, of course, by the time of the reunion, Monique was in the hot seat. It was the first time she's seen anyone since the fight, and there was a lot to explore. Andy said, our question was, are you really repentant? Do you really feel bad about this? Because when you're releasing a song about dragging someone, it's hard. Andy, shut the Lorraine said, we offered Monique a chance to return to season 6. I likened it to the situation with Phaedra and Candy in season 9. After Phaedra got fired, a lot of viewers felt like they were robbed of an ending of a story. So we wanted fans to go on a journey with Monique and Candiace, allowing them to see what could happen next. Would they be able to make up? Would they be able to coexist? We're excited to explore that. Again, the way they're trying to be so high-minded about this foolery, right? Andy said, I would have never imagined that we consider bringing Monique back. But when you look at public opinion about this, it wasn't as cut and dry. Candiace said, I was never ever going to film with her again. And I was really struggling as to whether I wanted to come back to the show. But in the end, I decided I was not going to let this gutter trash brat fuck with my money. Good for her. I'm glad she came back and she has a record career now, right? Monique said, there was no way I was moving forward with Candiace. I tried to move forward with her at the last reunion, but no sooner than we started filming again did she start being shady. Girl, you beat her ass. Of course she's going to be shady to you. Monique really treats Candiace like she's one of her twins, but she's also delusional. She has a lot of hubris. Monique, how do people act when you, and this is a serious question for those in the comments, whether or not you think that Candiace deserved it, after you put your hands on anyone, child, mother, daughter, son, sister, brother, lover, after you put your hands on someone, especially a grown-ass adult, how do you expect them to react? Do you think you were going to smack them in line like they were a child? I don't believe in hitting children. It should be out. But do you think, like, what did you think Candiace's reaction to you was? Yes, sir, Monique. Ooh, what did you think was going to happen? What? Like, where did you think this was going? I don't understand, right? So, Karen said, ideal humility and accountability would have been required for them to move on. I know they could do it, but it would be hard. I still think Karen is the ops. She's working with Candiace's mom, and Candiace's mom has been spoiling Karen's viewpoint on Candiace. And that's sad. That's sad. And it's really odd to me, and I don't care. We'll have another discussion about this. The colorism that goes on in Potomac is really odd to me, especially considering Karen, Giselle all have girls that aren't going to have the same privilege they have. Let that sink in. And I wonder when Grace, hopefully Grace, I don't even want to put that out. Hopefully nobody's child ever experiences it. But I wonder if her girls come crying to her that someone is being mean to them, or their bosses are picking on them, or they're being held to a different standard. And they're just like, I honestly think it's because the way I look. I wonder if Karen and Giselle will be so quick to dismiss their fears and their feelings as their imagination the same way they did to Candiace. I often wonder, do they have the sensitivity or even the awareness to want to understand a situation that they might not have ever experienced, that they might not have ever witnessed, an experience that they know nothing about, but millions of people tell them that it's a real phenomena. I wonder if they have the emotional intelligence to accept what their tutors are telling them about the way some people are treating them and receive it. Because trust and believe, all those girls, as they grow up, are in the position to be the Candiace to many people's Giselle's, Monique's, and Karen's, if you know what I'm saying. And they're also going to be, to someone, a spoiled brat the way people feel like Candiace are. It is what it is. There's going to be someone that looks at their daughters and be like, I don't like her. She thinks just because she's educated, why she's flaunting her degrees, why she's doing this and that. And somebody, I hope they never experience it, but what happens it is, are they going to have the emotional intelligence to recognize it, to say this is a real thing and to help them navigate through it? I don't know, because when it came time for Candiace, they didn't even know what the word colorism meant, literally. But that's just it. Let's get to these last three things, right? Monique said, there's always going to be people who think I was in the wrong for this situation. There's nothing I can do to change that, but I do wish the whole thing never happened. Do I wish the whole thing never happened? Absolutely. Do I wish that I just would have walked away? Absolutely. Me and you both. I do not realize in that moment that it would escalate the way it did, but we just got to live and move on and hope that we learn from our past. I mean, that's some real shit. Monique messed up, but the thing wasn't to fight Monique. That's what everybody's trying to tell her. It's the way you gaslit, and it was scary. And the way you organized an internet hate mob against Candiace. That was the issue. That was some scary shit. And I don't know if you guys were around during that time, but that was some scary shit, how much people were coming after Candiace. And it was unforgivable. And she fueled those fires. That was weird. And if Candiace hadn't been so strong, well, let's just say I'm glad that Candiace is still with us, right? So they said, of course, the Real Housewives of Potomac's legacy goes far beyond the season 5 battle. said, it's been a dream when you have a great cast like this to stick with them and watch them grow. The Potomac women, they're still friends. Their relationships have not gotten all messed up by the show and the stuff happening outside the show. That's really the goal. Giselle said, I would love there to be another all black housewives. There should be a black housewives out of Chicago. It would be a hit. And that, y'all, is chapter 8, the Chesapeake Babes, Real Housewives of Potomac. Y'all, I know I've been on here forever. Let's see what y'all say about, let's see what y'all have to say about it, right? Robin did call Monique out, but I didn't like the way when she's like, Candiace is annoyed and shit. I don't know. I didn't appreciate that. Let's see what y'all have to say, and then we'll get out of here. We're going to have to do chapter 8 next week. That's going to be the Atlantas. Did you guys learn anything new? Do you guys like this book club that I'm actually getting into the view? I know that everybody is just giving the sound bites, and that's cool. But you all know me. I like getting into the meat of it because I think it's the things that everyone's not reporting that is the funniest things. You know what I'm saying, right? Okay. Cool cat. I didn't know you're gonna go after me for the Candiace. Cool cat said, she said, girl, you know I love you and will always be here. I think colorists exist on Real Housewives of Potomac, but that is not Candiace's issue. Candiace is Candiace's problem all the way around, no self-awareness. Girl, agree to disagree. And y'all don't know, me and Cool Cat, when it comes to Candiace and Monique, are always on the opposite sides of the spectrum. But girl, thank you for rocking with me. Agree to disagree. But I feel you. But you see, this is another thing. Tattle Tells, all opposing opinions are welcome. They're welcome as long as they're stated respectfully. They're welcome. But I think you're wrong, Cool Cat. But you know I love you too, and I'm gonna be rocking with you. But you're wrong, right? There you go. Listen. Yeah, and that's the thing. They're not all trends, right? I remember when she broke Canada and ran to the pastor, right? Oh, of course. You know what? D Nice, I'm gonna keep club. We're gonna review Will Smith's book. We're gonna keep doing this one. We're gonna do Will Smith's book. You know we're gonna do The Pursuit of Portia. Listen, any silly book that you guys want, we're gonna do. This is going to be a thing. Some books aren't going to require weeks. Some books, I have a feeling that shout out to Rodney, the voice. I have a feeling that coloring book that Portia does is not going to it's not going to take that long. Will Smith's book, we can actually do that. You guys, it's going to be fun. We're going to actually start book clubs and start reading books. So make sure you don't have to buy Pursuit of Portia. I'm going to get Will Smith's book too. I think I'm going to have that here tomorrow. I'm going to read through it and see where we're going. And there's a few other books I'm going to go through, all right? Listen. Wait, Giselle has a book? Yes, I will do. I didn't know Giselle had a book. Giselle has a book. I'm going to do it. Listen, here's the thing. I'm going to read through the books first, and then we'll decide whether we can get to the whole book in one show or whether it's going to be multiple shows. The Real Housewives thing's a little bit to unpack. So we'll get through the good chapters. And, some of these chapters won't take this long. But also, yeah, you know what? We'll do that. Yeah, Giselle has a book? Wait, Will Smith's book is a series of videos? No, he actually had a book come out. I'm getting an order. It's being delivered to the house. Oh. I know book you're talking about. Maybe. Let me read it and actually see if it's good. That book was like half fiction, half nonfiction. Yep. Giselle's writing is her talent? All right, I'm right. Like you said, Monique saw light, it was right, and threw someone, Candiace, under the bus. Who wasn't going to cross her and actually had more upper class. I agree with that, right? What is it? Giselle's book is called My Word. She won an award for it. Oh, yes. It's the one loosely veiled in her life. Y'all, let me know in the comments what books you think I should review. This book club thing is going to be so fun, but let's do also current books that are coming out. Listen, between Will's book, The Pursuit of Portia, maybe we'll throw Giselle's book in there. I'm going to read them all. Y'all don't know, but I read super, super quickly. I know you can't tell because I kept talking and going through this, but I read super, super quickly. And also for the book club, I'm thinking the days that I don't have a guest on, maybe I'll let you guys call in if you the book and give me your opinion on it too. All right. Listen. All right, you guys. B, thank you so much for joining me. Rim, thank you everybody for the super chat. I also want to thank, make sure I get them right? Hold on, y'all. I also want to thank Bondi Blue for the super chat, Imara Lewis for joining the Tattle Tells fam. Y'all know the members only live is Friday, $4.99. Sign up now so you can get in on the live and you can watch all the replays back. They are good. Tattle Tells, let them know how good it is. They are good. Just go to my about section and hit the join button. It's right there, right? There's also Budget Weights. Thank you so much for joining Super Chat. I'm not joining that. Thank you so much for joining the Tattle Tale. And Marva Smith, 2-year anniversary. Look at us, baby. Cue John Legend. Take it slow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This time let's take it up. B, you're in on this too. Let's all slow dance together. It's been so many years. Listen, we're gonna have a Tattle Tales anniversary party. It's going to be good. Also, I'm going to do a special. Listen, if you guys can't tell, I'm back to traveling a lot again. Hence, I don't got any damn makeup, but I'm back to traveling a lot again. But I have some really funny stuff coming up and some really good stuff. All right. So I'll let you guys know about it. But if not, I will see you guys next Wednesday we're going to do chapter 8 and then move on to the Real Housewives of New Jersey chapter. Okay. We'll see what's going on. All right, everybody. Oh, thank you, Kimmy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Yes, the tea is always popping hot. All right, you guys, let's get out of here. See you guys next week, book club. And let me know in the comments or even DM me on Instagram. Y'all know where to always find me. If there's any other books you guys want to actually review. Again, I'll read them first. And if they're funny, I'll be like, yeah, we're doing a book club about this, all right? But we're going to do a few books, all right? Talk to you guys.